It's just old school. It's not up to us. It's just old school. It's not up to us.
And even view distant weather systems across the map.
You were being nice. Past tense. I used this song back on Springdale. Highlight reel when the piggy train was burning. Yeah, I used this for like the highlight reel at the end of Springdale, I'm pretty sure. It lives again in this map. This is Cities 1. Remastered. Free to play weekend. We'll be just covering random stuff.
It allows us to have 16 times detail. It allows all new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology.
Oh, did you make it to 2026 without realizing that was a salute or a wave? So I think $30 for remastered is worth it. If that's the cost, it is worth it. You take all your DLC with you. I'll tell you more in 50 seconds when the intro song is not blaring. And I don't have to fight over it. But yeah, it's worth it. If you have, they are charging you if you have a physical copy. If you had the digital, you could upgrade for free for a very long time. I don't know if there's a cost now. There's a couple other ways to check it out too. Okay, let's we'll put on some Monster Cat. We'll put on our little overlay down below. Hope everybody's well. Hope you're doing good. Let's shuffle and play and switch and see what we get. It should be on the down tempo playlist. We'll see what we get, and we'll change it if we need to. Good evening, everybody. So let's cover that question right away, because that's an important one. Who asked that, Dan? I got to go back. Yes, Dan. So is it worth $30? I think so. If you're still playing this game in 2026, yes, I think $30 is worth it for remaster on the console. It is not a complete reinvention of the game, but it is 25 tiles. That right there, like check this out. So your 9x9 tile, right? Like the very concentrated center of my city would still fit in a 3x3, right? A 9 tile map. But like now we can fade things off and we can have, I mean, I'm not the best at it necessarily, right? But like you can have these little, you know, these things off on the edge of the map and it can feather off a bit here or there. It's probably better over this way, how it feathers off, but it gives you so much room to explore and build. And I think if you're still playing, especially on console in 2026, then absolutely $30 is well worth it. So here's the thing. If you have the digital version of the game, you should be able to upgrade for free, but maybe that is not a thing anymore. You could for the longest time. If you have the CD-based version, so if you have a disc-based version, you have to buy the upgrade. There's another caveat. If you owned it by getting it for free with like Xbox Gold or PlayStation Monthly, which I think was the thing, like it was one of the free games that they gave away. So like if you just own it for free and you never bought the base game, PC Snob at just 25 tiles. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, but what, you know, we were getting by with 9. If you're still playing it in 2026, I think that $30 is a perfectly reasonable cost. Like, I wouldn't pay full price for this game. And you should go in knowing that it's not a complete reinvention. It looks a little better. It's got 25 tiles and it has all the same DLC and most of the same problems and imperfections. But again, if you're playing it and enjoying it on console today, then I think $30 is not too much for the remastered version. You don't get to take your saves over. All your DLC comes, but your saves do not. So brand new achievements or trophies in your case, having to unlock the uniques if you're playing legit, but there's an option to unlock all the uniques as well. So 25 tiles is a game changer. And yes, 81 is amazing too, but 25 tiles. So I did like 10-hour streamed over 2 nights looking at every single map at the time, like a year ago. There's new maps now, of course. But there's a bunch of maps that when you're playing the base game, the default 3x3, there is stuff that's broken like just off the edge of the map. Like, it was never meant to be played successfully, in my opinion. It's horrible, horrible map design. And some of those things are completely fixed in the 25 tile version. And therefore would have been fixed with modding. Either 25 tiles or 81 tiles. But, fireworks going off. Please don't set a fire. I've got thoughts on the new DLCs, too, that we'll talk about. I'm kind of unimpressed the more I look at them. 1,400 hours on console and learn from me. All right, then. You spread your wings and fly, Casino. Never leaving. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's so like I said, I really enjoyed the remaster. We're here tonight with the title is Cities Free to Play Q&A, so absolutely ask questions away. That's what we're here for. If you're new, all you have to do is subscribe. It's free. If you want to join the chat, it just helps with bots. So if you just want to ask a question, unsubscribe, like, go for it. Hop in the chat that way. But that's why it's subscription only, is to keep the bots out. But since there are 25 of you here, we could also give away some free memberships as well, just for the fun of it. So send in 5. And whoever does, I think you may still have to subscribe. There you go, Dan. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. So you can spam some emotes in the chat, I believe. I'm assuming if you're members, it lets you do that, but maybe you still have to subscribe. I don't know. But anyways, welcome. There's a Helmo in there. If anything bursts into fire, you can send the pain or the Helmos my way. Exactly, Kung. So $30, totally worth it. We're here because it's free to play weekend. So Cities 1 is free on Steam. There's a couple ways to get it for less than buying the game, theoretically, on Xbox and PlayStation. So double check the levels. Don't take me at my word. It is on Game Pass. I believe it's on Core Game Pass. So if you pay the whatever $9.99 a month for the base service, which is what I downgraded to, you technically own Cities on Xbox. Cities Remastered. Now there's, I think, 3 tiers on PlayStation, and it's the premium and the extra tiers that allow you access to Cities Skylines Remastered. So if you're thinking maybe I don't want to spend that $30 on Remastered and I want to check it out, you could check it out and a bunch of other games by either getting or upgrading to premium or extra for the month. The PlayStation, is it PlayStation Now? I'm not up on my PlayStation services, I apologize, but there's a monthly service where you can download games, kind of like Game Pass, and they have 3 tiers as well, funny enough. Corporations will copy each other. My question is, why do the Brits eat beans on toast? Cheese on top. Don't forget the cheese on top. Now is a question I can never solve. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of defeats the purpose of the toast, if you ask me. I don't mind dipping my still crispy toast that was on the side in the bean leftovers, or even in the beans as I'm eating them, but I'm not ruining a perfectly good piece of toast by making it all soggy with my beans. Those go on the side. I think I think American food is much more autistic friendly in that regard, I will say. If you don't want your food textures touching one another, we seem to be much more down with that here in the States. We're over yeah, they will just put piles of whatever on whatever and then throw some cheese on top, which, I mean, we do plenty of that, but it's okay to separate you don't have to ruin a perfectly good piece of toast with the beans. Build a city that uses all the DLC. This one uses a ton of it. What's funny is I was thinking, is it time to go back and do a breakdown of what do all the DLCs give you, so that what if I don't own one, what is it going to get me? So I had done that with separate videos way back in the day, but a great way to do it, a really fun way that we did it in the past, was a city called Plainville, and I'm pretty sure that was a 9-tile city on console. I uninstalled all the DLC, played the base game through all the milestones, and then every episode introduced a new DLC and tried to put a bunch of the stuff from that DLC into the city. So it might be time for a Plainville 2, and we'll have a little bit more room to expand with 25 tiles, which would be nice. I still have not made an airport. Let me see. What are your thoughts on the roadside fences? I actually love those. I didn't look into the employment infogram too much, but I don't generally have problems with employment. It happens when you're first expanding an area, when you need a bunch of residential, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. I don't need more info views. You need more info views in City Skylines too. That's where it's really broken. So I'm glad that they're thinking about feedback and things like that. But it's not as much of a win on CS1, where I think you can easily avoid those problems in the first place if you just balance where people live and how they can get there. How they can get there being the most important part. They will travel very far to make good with employment. Plainville is awesome. I appreciate that. But roadside fences, yes, Kung, that's awesome, because how many of you have struggle bust down a curvy road trying to put fences down it? If you haven't seen, the same way that we can take trees and click them on a road with trees and change the trees that are there, we basically can drop different fence types onto the side of a road. Now, you could drop it on the sidewalk where you're preventing someone from getting from a parked car to the building. That would be a little bit silly. You don't want to do that. But, that's something to consider, right? Like that you can use these in a new way, especially around parks or less populated areas of town. That's going to be a really nice touch where you won't have to finagle and hope that you can get it, especially on console, without move it. It's such a pain dealing with fences by roads if you want to make it look really good. Question is CS2 still in the works for console or just never going to happen? So they haven't announced canceling it yet. They're working on it, they say. I don't think that they should, personally. I don't think that CS2 is in a spot where it is fun to play without mods, and we are not getting mods on console. And it's very important for people to understand that. Some people are confused, so I'll do the spiel I've done so many times. We're getting assets. It's under a thing called PDX mods, but just like the console version of the Xbox said mods, and all it was buildings. Like, we're not getting mods. You're not getting mods that are going to fix the game, and I think the game is too dependent on the modding community still to make it fun to play. Now, this new studio took over. They pushed out Ultimate in December, and now it is March, mind you, and they're pushing out a DLC on top of CS2. They didn't miss a quarter. That is so financially driven, it seems like I cannot imagine a scenario where that wasn't the intention, to get it out before the end of the quarter. Because if it was to get it out when it was right, you'd almost think like, no, don't rush it in the quarter. Let's push it out of quarter so that we're not constrained by those arbitrary rules and expectations of getting it out for March. Nope, push it out the door for March. So I am super skeptical of the stuff that is coming. I'm also a little skeptical of the stuff that we're getting in CS1 next week, though 2 of them are content creator packs, totally fine. Like, I think it's great to give us different options for service buildings. I think the novelty of the races is going to wear off very fast, especially if there aren't people. The people gather on the sidewalks and not at the fences that get put up for the event. Like, have they ever seen a marathon in their city? Like, people are going to be crowding at the fence, not standing back on the sidewalk away from the event, away from the parade, away from the bike race, or away from the marathon. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure it's very fixable, but those constant blue roads also look just kind of stupid, if you ask me. I'm not impressed by the race day overall with how they implemented some of it. But that is Tantalus on their own, their first DLC, so I'm going to buy it just to see. Oh yeah, no, I watched Egg's video for sure. I'm not impressed with the mechanics. I'm super not impressed with the fact that, like, they don't have people watching the event again at the fence. They're back on the sidewalk. What do I have an entire lane blocked off and fences up on either side of that path, if not to allow people to come closer than the edge of the road that is shut down for the event? Like, I know, like, there's no Buffalo Marathon up there, right? Like, Boston Marathon is a big thing and it shuts down the city, but like, you're like right up on the event. You're not on the sidewalk with a lane of empty traffic in between you. Like, they did not set it up right. And I can't, and again, like, this is me being a little bit Debbie Downer, but also very much aware that Paradox is the parent company. New ownership here, Tantalus and Snowflake. No, not Snowflake. Iceflake? Snowflake, whatever. They're pushing stuff out in the quarter, which I think is a really bad look. It's a really desperate look because, again, Paradox is the parent company. They are have public shareholders, so they have public investor details, and they discuss how they make money. Cities is their main brand, and the way that they make money is through continued operation of the platform by selling content creator packs that are made by the community. They don't even have to spend to develop on those. And then regular development of DLCs and expansions. So make a code base and then just keep selling off of it for a decade, which is what they're doing for Cities 1. And here they are handing over the studios, right? Ultimate Edition just delivered. by the outgoing Colossal Order team, and they haven't missed a frickin' quarter. They didn't take a quarter to say, okay, this first quarter is just us focusing on the game. And sure, they've been handing it off, but like, let's get our feet under us. Let's show the community what we can do with a free update, just in the base game itself. But nope, it is March. We made money in December with the release of Ultimate. We need to make money now because this is March, and they're going to have to make money again in April, May, June. You're going to see, I guarantee, to quote Justin Wilson, somebody that's probably way too old for most of you, but I guarantee that is going to be a sloppy DLC come June as well. But tune in here to check out what race day and all that stuff. So I'm a fan of the content creator pack stuff. So, sorry, ranting and raving. I don't even know how far back. I need to get a vertical monitor to go how far back I need to, basically. If I missed a question and you want to ask a question, please maybe ask it again and at me so that I see it. Because the longer you hang out here, the worse you'll realize I am at keeping up with chat. So, looked at race day DLC, didn't see any NASCAR, but CS1 is the bomb. So the good news, Jay Murray, is we can make a NASCAR track real easy. Just go that way until something gets in your way. If something gets in your way, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. There's a speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. It is 1 mile. It is I think it's the tiniest NASCAR track. It's 1 mile all the way around, and they are basically just turning the entire time. I would get so dizzy having to drive that. I cannot imagine. In-game cinematic I miss in CS2, right? This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest misses by far. Build your city and let the cinematic camera just drive you around. It makes its own content. It is so relaxing. It is so rewarding to see your city in these cinematics, and it achieves it by just having static shots, by picking a thing and panning the camera around it, by picking an object like a bus or even a subway underground sometimes, and panning the camera with it. Like here, it's picked a random object, probably someone in that metro station underground most likely, and it's going to slowly pan around it. It's really kind of basic, but it makes such a cozy little atmosphere for this game, which it can be a really good cozy game. The fact that 2 doesn't have this feature is mind-blowing to me. It's so mind-blowing that you have to manually set up your own cinematics. I love that you can do that. That's really cool. But where did you lose this functionality upgrading from Unity 5 to 6 or whatever the hell? I don't even know. 4 to 5. I don't know my Unity versions. I just know. Yeah, Cinematic 2 are the worst. Tried and hated it. Yeah, you have to, like, for creators who've dealt with the cinematic camera mod, it's good enough. And it will let you do like a very specific shot that you want. But when you have to set up every shot, that takes a long time. And I'll tell if you've been around here a while, any of the cinematic cameras that you've seen, like the cinematics that I do, like for the beginning or end of an episode, or at the beginning or end of a season, I'll do some like cinematic stuff. And that's just me like letting this mode play and recording it for a really long time and editing together the better clips. So we had a date for DLC for console. It's never too late to catch up. It's just like, it's a mortgage, basically. It's a mortgage payment to get it all. So many missing things in CS2 that should have been there. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Couple questions. Okay. Can I comment on one of your videos with questions? Yeah, I mean, you can first of all, yes, I try to get back to comments. If you've got a video in mind that you have a question on, you can also ask me right here live and just tell me what the context of the question is. That's totally fine as well. Personal strategy to solve traffic congestion in high population cities over 100,000. So I do have, the controller went to sleep. Maybe I should at least show you around a little bit. It's gonna get bright just because it's easier to see in the daylight. We'll try and do it slow. Let's adjust together, everybody. Okay, don't stare directly at the light. We're going to look down here at some dark road, and we're going to make it a little bit brighter bit by bit. Very easy on our eyes. Then we're going to stare directly at the sun and watch it all fade to white. Okay. Or just play CS2 and pull up info views and flashbang yourself, because that's still a thing. Somehow worse than this that we bring up. So if I go into traffic here, we're at 85%, and I am not doing a whole lot road design wise. So I'll tell you that. It's not about the road design. The secret is in the districts. So what I do with this has been my tried and true secret for dealing with traffic. You'll notice that we've got a highway that runs through this area. There's an exit here. There's a really sloppy diamond interchange here, which is doing just fine, even though it's industry. And then this is a built-in interchange from, I want to say, Map Pack 3, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'd take no offense if I'm remembering that incorrectly. It's one of the partial clover leafs or something. Map Pack 3 is worth it for the intersections if you're on console, in my opinion. So those couple of exits, right? This T, this diamond, and this partial, all dump where you can get to this district, the Colline Francese, as it's called, French Hill. So essentially, if I am bound for this area, I've got a policy called Old Town on. If you want to go to this place, that's fine, but you can't drive through Old Town to get to the other place. So let's say I'm here in the Colline Francese and I want to drive over to visit my friend in the Manor District, which needs to be renamed. I'm not going to drive just down this main street into Franklin Hills, because that's not my destination and it has Old Town. So I'm going to force that to come up to the highway, to come up this way, and then maybe they get off. Nope. They would come all the way down the highway down here and get off at this diamond interchange, because this allows them to traverse roads that are not Old Town marked, blocking them. That's it. Provide good mass transit if you can, but that's how you control like where they're willing to drive, where they're able to drive in the first place. And Old Town is one of the best tricks, and one of the things you need to learn really well. That and districting does an amazing job controlling traffic. Combine that with things like trams and subways. Give them walking paths is amazing. Encourage biking, things like that. There's all sorts of things you can do. So I don't think Old Town is a DLC option, is it? Isn't it like after dark, like almost base game at this point? I'm pretty sure Old Town is I've been using it forever, so it's like season 1 at the earliest. A few Kanga interchanges for sure. I'm guessing you didn't build this city? I don't see any fire. No, absolutely. This thing goes up in crazy flames. You should see what happens to the forestry industry. When it catches, it all goes. And sometimes it goes up into the mountain. We'll probably see a good one tonight. Chances are. We had a decent one on the last one. It was on screen for a while. There, see, look. It's happening as we speak. Some nice fires for you right there. It is after dark. Okay, so it's technically a DLC, but if you're on console, that's built into the base game. You can't buy console without getting after dark, even on the Switch version. So, Edge of Map Fog.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
Thank you, Todd. Okay, so I think I started to answer this question. Do I think they're still making CS2, right? So they haven't said that they're canceling it yet, but they should. I think I got into that. I'm not sure I entirely closed my point. The game's not fun without mods, in my opinion. I think Egg's one of the few creators still doing vanilla cities. And obviously would have a different opinion from me. I haven't found it fun. I have less than 60 hours in Cities 2 to this day. Like they haven't made it fun to play yet. Not without the mods. Scroll up, ask the question. Okay. Yeah, and if I'm missing them, don't be shy about reposting them either. I apologize. But question, when I created my first amusement park, I didn't place fences around it. When I placed fences around the park, it deleted paths and other objects. Is that what happened? It can happen. It shouldn't delete the objects, it'll delete trees and stuff, but it shouldn't delete props. It just shouldn't let you place it. But it will definitely mess up paths, specifically if something you got to watch out for with pathing. So if you come like path a zone, let me pause it. Let me zone. So we'll do a little zoning here. We're not going to let that stay. But depending on where you place these two, especially, like if I go all the way to the end, it's going to connect to the sidewalk. It's going to overwrite that zoning. If I come here, it still connects the sidewalk, but it will also let a house move in, like a 1x1 house will move in right there. And it will look very stupid. So it can do some weird things when you're messing around with the paths or fences at edges, especially if it breaks zoning and something had zoned in there. That will definitely mess it up. But it shouldn't have deleted any objects unless they were, in that case, like an object that was defined by zoning, because then placing the fence will break the zoning behind it. Copy and paste to repost. No longer see it. Sorry. So yeah, traffic wise, like that, again, the Old Town is one of the most important things to understand when it comes to managing vanilla traffic. I always think it's like, I think it's funny because there's so many tools that I see people not leverage, and then people doing like, you know, a city fix with Biffa, and it's, you know, 45 minutes of traffic manager, when a lot of times it could be just better design, better forethought. It doesn't have to look unrealistic either. Like if you look at, I mean, at least especially American cities, this is not far off from an American suburban city design. It's a little bit more of a focus on the arterials and how they transition, but structurally it's pretty much the same. You can get a little crazy with the grids. You can still provide some buffer zones and things and parks. There's a lot of stuff you can do there. Okay, let me see here. Arctic Fox's vanilla videos mixes all the zones together in vanilla only builds. It's whack. Check it out. Industrial corridors need to be directly connected to the highway for sure. That is something I do recommend. So I do have old school industry over here, and like take a minute to look at like how this is connected to the highway. So they have to come down like here to this intersection to go up that way to the highway, or they can come up this way to the Diamond interchange. They can also leave the zone this way, and just by breaking up some of the traffic and giving it a direct path onto the highway here, or encouraging it to maybe come around this way and get on the highway to the left, it makes them think about going different ways, and it doesn't overload just one piece of the intersection, which is really key. And then when I talk about my heavier stuff from the industry perspective, so check this out. This is the oil, and we've got a little bit of everything here, full production. The problems that you see here are good problems to have. I always like to highlight this because people think like, okay, what's broken? We don't have enough buyers. So we've got plastics, and we just got to send them someplace, but all our warehouses are full. All our production chains are full. We just shipped off something and it's already filling back up. So we're making constantly more than we need, but just enough. We're trying to be as efficient as possible so that we're producing enough goods for all the factories to be set at 150% production rate. And as you can see, they need a bunch of different products. So they're going to get petroleum and plastics from this zone because it's oil, and then the larger factories have components from other areas. So I'll ship those in to warehouses in the zone. But note, like, because that's a ton of truck traffic, not just locally, but bringing in those goods and then shipping it all out, it has its own exit on the highway. Same thing up over here. Well, it's fed off this very busy Diamond interchange. So not only does that support my default industry zone here in the Skylines Francese, is how it's pronounced. But up here we have Sherwood Forestry. So again, a lot of truck traffic coming in and out, all unique factories. And if those factories require more of a good from this area, that's why they're placed there. I'm not going to put this one like halfway across the map when it uses timber and paper, which are good for here effectively. Real quick over here, we've got our health can't spell healthcare without THC. So we grow medicinal crops here in these warehouses that you are not allowed anywhere near. Please stay away. Don't mind the armed guards everywhere. And then way off the edge of the map, we've got Bobby's Ore. And there is one field over here of Vegemite that has stained the ground black. It's poisonous. We use it to keep the rodents away. Anyways, industry and having like special zones is really important. Let me see what else. You recently... Biff's fixes haven't been that great. He tends to fix around the already existing infrastructure, which are often terribly built. Add some new lanes and a couple new... And that's what I'm saying, like... The fixes generally need to be done in the core. It's the bones and the veins that get messed up. And you can only do so much to fix it later. It's tough. Also prefer to make commercial heavy districts with one-way roads. Not a bad idea. Not realistic, but it saves. Yeah, it's like you could do a mixture of different tactics. You know, I mean, Boston, my new Boston map, maybe we can load that up later. Like, it's a mess because Boston is a mess. Like, I'm not even trying and it's still functioning. So have fun with it too. If you're going for realism, then realism's fine as well. Again, I apologize. It's one of these times, like, I wish I had a vertical monitor for the chat tonight. I appreciate everybody being so active. Don't hesitate to ask questions. I apologize. Is there a certain spacing of buildings so that several won't catch fire altogether? No, not necessarily. Because they can spread to trees and then trees spread to other things. But I think if there's... you know what? I don't want to say for sure because I'd be guessing, but like it can't catch over more than 3 or 4. If you have 4 spaces between zones, I don't think it's going to catch. But I would imagine it could go 1 or 2 with a 1 or 2 block, but I could be wrong. Mixing zones is good. Commercial should be near residential. Absolutely. I don't do it like on the same street generally. I wish we had more options. It'd be kind of cool if we could plot by now. But mixed use zoning would be really cool. There are a lot of corner stores with apartments above them. One not too far from here. So that would be really cool. But you can do some things to kind of mix and match. And then some of the newer modern downtown, emerging downtown are really good for kind of achieving that feeling. Yeah, real cities don't work like the game version. Exactly. Jay Murray, if I load up New Boston, you'll see like I'm trying to really capture New Boston, and definitely it's very different building realistic and not, and like almost, I have to caution people, like I have overlays and fades so that I can show the map and how close it really is to the structure of Boston. Because most people at 2 would just think I'm an idiot, doesn't know anything about city building streets like that. But doing a good job, if I may say, recapturing the magic of Boston, which is horribly, horribly infrastructured. The fire is always hungry. It will spread. Yes, we'll catch it at some point, I'm sure. Why do I separate everything so much? I mean, in this particular build, I don't know. It depends. I definitely, from a districting perspective, I like to separate things. And in the suburb side of the map, which is what you were seeing there, there's like insulating trees to separate the neighborhoods. I'm from the northeast of the United States, and it is extremely, extremely covered in trees wherever people are not. Like if you drive up into New Hampshire, Vermont, south of Montreal in Canada, like it's just, people have a house, a road, a parking lot, a baseball field, or it's trees. And I tend to do that with like some of my neighborhoods, kind of separating out, like you see here, insulating zones between commercial and low density residential. So there's a lot of separation, at least of the ideas there. Fallout 4 is the greatest thing to happen to Boston. I don't know. I'm going to go with 2004 ALCS even. I don't even care about the series as much as being down 3-0 to the Yankees and then coming back 4 games in a row. That might be the greatest thing that happened to Boston. But Fallout 4 is up there. I really love Fallout 4. I am biased for sure in that regard. Favorite industry you built was the one-way with the alternating off-ramps. Yes, that was like when we were dealing with like tons and tons and tons of industrial traffic, trying to make like a massive zone. Yeah, I built a very cool zipper highway. And the AI gets into the lane it needs to get to too early. That's why you see these massive backups on whatever exit side. Most likely the right if you're driving right-hand side. Most likely the left if you're driving left-hand side, because that's where most of your exits are going to tend to be. But what I did in this zone was basically had like a series of a bunch of roads, like block after block after block, and really close highway exits on a 3-lane highway. But because each exit was alternating and truck traffic could exit directly to the industrial street, you know, 1 block at a time, it would just constantly zipper traffic left or right because the exits were alternating. Left side, right side would come under that raised highway. So worked pretty cool. I forget what that was in. That was like Rockwood, whatever the oldest Let's Play season 1 is on the channel. Was that build, I think. You can turn off a fire spread and not be a pyromaniac, but that is not fun. You could also give them smoke detectors, but that costs money. How else are we going to get $1 billion in the bank handing out free smoke detectors? Speaking of, oh, there we go.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
There you go. There she blows. Yeah, there you Helmos members, if you got them, let's get some Helmos in the chat, please. Become a member for as little as 99 cents if you want to support the channel. You can support the channel also just by liking, watching, subscribing, saying something in the chat, having a good time, kicking back, relaxing on your Saturday evening or Sunday morning, depending on where you are. The fires and his inability to drive cars. How easy is it for you to drive cars? It's not very easy in this game. It's not like it's like Gran Turismo or Forza. Like, you know, not exactly a great physics engine for it. Last time, the trees around the Lone Pine Mall. If anyone knows the reference, Lone Pine Mall. All of those trees went up last episode. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see. And mods, if you catch them too, like if I'm missing questions, that's exactly what we are here for tonight, is for people's questions, because it's a free-to-play weekend. Game may be new to you, or maybe you just had a question you've been wondering about for a really long time. I'm happy to give you my best answer at it. And I think this is probably the game I know best. I know a lot about Fallout 4 settlement building, though the comment section likes to remind me that I don't all the time. It's honestly the worst. Every time, like, I miscalculated max charisma. Like, actually, I can have 47 people in my settlement because you didn't consider taking these 17 chemicals in this particular order. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't get, there's a lot of info dump. I got one thing wrong. But they point out that thing I got wrong all the time. Just doing that road hack by placing the larger road down, then placing a building and then replacing it with a smaller road help with traffic backups? I don't know. I don't think it helps with traffic backups necessarily. I mean, little things that you could use like maneuvering roads like that for are like putting your industry buildings, especially train stations. I don't think I do it anywhere, but like trucks will turn to come in and out of the lot. And if you'll notice here, I've put it straight across this road. So if a truck comes straight across, it can technically turn in, but basically drive straight into the train yard. That one's not particularly busy. So there's little things you can do, but it's not necessarily the most important. 6-lane road was ridiculous. Why? Wait, which one? Did I get the lengthy question? Okay, the road, right? The road trick. Or yeah, or the other thing is too, is if you, it might be a little trickier on mobile too, but if you move the mouse, all one word, it should tag it in bright orange for me as well. It makes it easier to pick up those questions. But okay, large driveways probably wouldn't allow vehicles to get out of the road quicker. Nope, that is that one. Cinematic camera. 56, you tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate you. Subscribe if you're new. There'll be more cities content. I'm going to get to New Boston again soon, which is a creative or unlimited money build that I'm doing for the first time. Recapturing Boston. And Boston is a messy city. Yeah, that tag helps quite a bit. To at least know that one is directed at me. Although, I mean, formerly the Twin Pine Mall. Yes, Kanga, correct. Is there a reason to get into this game again? I don't know. I think so. I go back and forth with like what some of my games are. I think I'm very much in line with the broader gaming community in general, because what you see is, except for a couple new titles, people generally play like 10 rotating games from 5 to 9 years ago. So I really think in particular, this is a good game to get back into, especially if you've been away from it for a while. Not because it's necessarily reinvented itself, but because you're coming back to it with new perspective and maybe a different city in mind that you want to, stylize or create. I find it a very relaxing loop for the most part. I love to play games, and I play games almost every night. I still play a lot of Star Wars Battlefront, which is an old game, but when I'm just like getting in crap lobbies and not having a good time, I'll switch over to this in a heartbeat, and just like, it's a good chill relaxation. So I think that's a great reason to get back into it myself. But the game hasn't necessarily drastically changed if you've only been away from it for, a year or so. What's my favorite hack in vanilla? Building keys inland? That's pretty cool. They should have just made that easier, honestly, but that is a cool thing that you can do for sure. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite hack. I don't know what I think of. I'm going to have to come back to that. I'm not sure. Maybe like how you can kind of bend roads, like you can change the attack of an off-ramp by like dragging roads into the side of it and deleting the nodes to change how it hooks in without physically moving it. Mobile doesn't let you at people? Is that an iOS thing? Or is that an Android thing too? Can I watch my own stream? Hold on a second. Yes, I can. Can you really not at people on mobile? That's horrible. What if I at and spell it correctly? Did I spell it correctly? I don't know. I don't have my readers on. No, I guess not, right? That doesn't tag you, Amanda? That works. That works, Amanda. That does work. So although it doesn't show you the auto completion, it does work as long as you spell it correctly. I didn't put a period on your last name, so maybe that didn't tag you because of that. Let me try that. We're troubleshooting YouTube issues here too, everybody. So if you got YouTube questions, let's test some stuff in the chat. It doesn't autocomplete. You have to type out the whole username. Yes. But if you move the mouse, capital M, capital T, capital M, it does make it a lot easier for me to find your questions. But I'm sorry, I'm crap at it. So it doesn't work maybe on your side. It doesn't show that it's working, but it does show it on my side. And it works also lowercase as well, apparently, in Sin's case. Still didn't did I spell it wrong twice? Did I amammed you? Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Third time's a charm. Kanga, it does work. Okay. So I'm just typing Amanda again and again. Okay, hold on. Fourth time's a charm. Amanda. C. Period. Test. Did that work? And I think it only shows for you. It doesn't show for me. 61 watching. Move the mouse numbers are picking up, and we're troubleshooting YouTube chat. I love it. It's a question and answer. I didn't say it had to be cities related. If you want to talk OBS, if you want to talk about Windows audio virtual routing in Windows 11, which is just broken and horrible, it does work. Nice. Yes, you can ping me easier from now on, because you can probably spell my name correctly. Amanda. So, did we see any big fires while we were troubleshooting that? All one word, no spaces, yes. Are you still only play on console? No, I do play on PC as well. New DLC I am concerned about, honestly. So I am excited about the content creator packs. I like new service buildings and new things to build in. The Brutalist is okay. The other one looks a little more, for my type of city. But even like some of the train stations around like the north end of the commuter rail, like Lowell, Cambridge, like the end of the Red Line, a lot of those stations are very Brutalist around here. So like it's not that foreign of a concept what a lot of those buildings look like. But I am mostly playing cities on console. I like the sweet spot of the balance of this game and the challenge of making it work on console. Like, how many people are overlapping their budget with $1 billion in the bank in unmodded cities? There's no like, oh, I started with $5 million and I did all these things with a mod to make things function. Like, no, we just grinded out the game and made some money. And you can do it too. That's what we're here explaining. OBS breaks OBS with each of its updates. Yeah, I never update right away. I always wait months. I update when there are a couple versions into the next main version and people are saying like, oh, it's stable finally. And then I never touch it again until they say that again about the next major version, unless there's a serious bug. What capture card do I use? I use the Elgato 4K 60 MK2. So it is a pass-through. So it has a single in and a single out. YouTube mods are only for the looks and show and sometimes time out. I mean, honest, Kong the other night talking about Florida and its relationship to the body of the United States was getting a little risque. You think CS1 will be a 100-year game? It's definitely a $70 game multiple times over at this point. I will say that much. Can you explain the stock market building and how to work with that? Quickly, no, because it's horrible. But yeah, sure. Financial Districts is one of the worst DLCs in my opinion. I've built it in and then didn't bother with it. So you plop this building down somewhere. And it has Financial District office buildings pay higher taxes when built close to the stock exchange. So if you're going to use this, make a Financial District tight downtown area. It is what it is all about. Essentially, you go make some money. So you interact with this building like you would the college campus or something like that. You go into your stocks and you can buy and sell, and you can actually do like death care or health care, and you can completely stack the system because If you reduce the budget of your healthcare, it becomes a less valuable service and the stock price plummets. You buy that stock, raise the budget on healthcare, which makes it a really valuable service, and the price goes up. And then you sell that stock, and then you repeat it and just do it over and over again. So you can cheese it very easily. And every time you cheese it to a new level, you build your stock market up. It becomes a bigger building with better effects. And it's basically investment gains to the next level. Once you do all that, you'll unlock all these unique buildings. So you get the bronze cow. I did unlock all this stuff. I deleted them all. Or did I not? No, some of these are still built. They're just turned off. Right? Because if I delete that, it'll let me place it again. But it won't let me place those because they're somewhere over here. I thought they were somewhere over here. I was pretty sure. Oh, there they are. There they are. They're all turned off. Well, there's the statues and the plaza. I don't know where that parking garage is, but it's somewhere. And then there's this bank. And this, if you plop down there, again, the office buildings will pay even higher taxes next to an international trade building. So it's a tiny little economy mini game. It's not particularly fun. There are much better ways to build, to make money, like cheesing parks or transport. I forget what these are. There's a small bank, a fleet of cash transport vans that collect money and reduce crime rate in commercial zones. So you can do some things, you know, reduce the crime rate in commercial zone buildings, reduce the crime rate in commercial zone. So, you know, if you have a big city and you want a downtown financial district, that's in a nutshell how that works. There's the other parking garage, the underground structure. But it's not the most impressive DLC by any means. It's one of the last ones I would recommend picking up as far as like game-changing things. I'd always recommend getting almost every content creator pack before spending money on the stock market, the financial districts one. We can still be timed out. Yeah, Kung knows he can still be timed out. Financial is so broken on console at release. It was really bad. It was one that I posted a video. Remember, it was one of the first things I was particularly critical about for the console community. And it was a thumbs up on PC and a thumbs down on console. Like it wasn't built out the same way. You couldn't pass time and watch the stock price, which was very broken at first. And they don't make it very clear in the UI like how you go about that, but you have to go. The only way to view it is to go into info views and look at this stock price. So when you have investments, you can bring up this submenu and time passes. Because if you go into any other way, you're bringing up a menu that pauses time. And they don't make it very clear. And it's like what do? You jump out to wait to go back in to check the price. That's what you had to do at first. It's pretty bad at first. And one of the first, I think, very clear delineations and separations between the quality and the willingness to push out something on console that just wasn't as ready as it was on the PC side of things. And that is the current stewards of Cities 1. Because Tantalus, who was making the console version at the time, pushing out a questionable financial districts update, in my opinion, is now the main developer of all things City Skylines 1. So those new DLCs that are coming, it's the first like game expansion in a long time, and the first one that is going to be delivered by them, by the studio Tantalus, not by CO. I mean, technically Tantalus was doing a lot of the work on the console version anyways, but like now they're heading up the development of the actual content. Cats have demanded a large table with stuff to knock off. So hyped about it too, but console was so broken. Yeah, I think YouTube is owned by cats. That's why we get nothing but cat videos. Your algorithm is messed up, my friend. 'Cause I get a lot of dog videos. And a lot of war right now, which I could use without my feed, but whatever. Give me the cat videos. I can feel the allergies through the screen. 1 billion in the bank. Never to spend it. That's transport. Right? I keep trying to go into cinematic camera. A lot of FAFO vids. Just happy Cities 1 is still getting support. Yes, no, I agree. Like, I do appreciate the content creator packs that are coming. I'm gonna buy it more to review it, but I'm very reluctant to get excited about the race day stuff, because I personally don't care about a dedicated racetrack in my city. I think there's other things I would rather put. But let's say, okay, you want a racetrack. I'm not crazy about what they do with the roads, because at some point, like, you want the marathon or the parade or the bike race to take place on the roads in your city. You don't want to have everything on a dedicated track. And I just do not get, I'm going to have to play around with it. I don't get the blue lanes. I don't get why they put fences up inside the blue lanes to have people still stand back on the sidewalk. Like, I would assume the whole point of that was to shut down the lanes to let people get closer to the event, which is what you would do in real life. Do I have all the DLC for Cities 1? I do, except for radios, I believe. Can I look? Is it like a main menu thing? It's like a main menu thing, isn't it? I do have, I think, all of the DLCs for 1. I forget when I got cut off, but around the time Cities 2 came out and I made a video called Potato Mode, they stopped giving me keys. They said you were free to criticize. I was one of the few that criticized it out of the gate, and then I stopped getting keys. I don't know. Maybe you didn't want me to criticize it. But again, it's just funny that 2 years later, they fired the devs behind the mess that I criticized. So, vindicated. And maybe they just couldn't own up to themselves and had to squeeze. Well, obviously, of course they did. They squeezed Ultimate Edition and all the things that they were owed by contract. And as soon as that was done in December, they cut loose Colossal Order, announced the new studio, and here we are less than a quarter later, and they're making more releases, more money for the studio, more DLCs. So they literally did not miss a quarter. It's so transparently obvious when you look at the timeline of it. Foot race and parades are pretty nice too. Like, I really like the look of the race and the parades. I don't know if everybody noticed, you can see it in Egg's video on the official channel, that the runners lane change like they're traffic. They are like insanely bouncing from lane to lane on the road. Like, the guy who's in the lead is like ping-ponging around the road. Like, you'd be wasting so much effort going sideways. It'd be crazy. You can write the DLCs off as a business expense. Yeah, I mean, technically I can, but it's also like you're reducing that from your taxable income. It's not like you're getting all the money back. It is a nice benefit of making money and having a 1095 from Alphabet or Google, but you're not getting everything back. But it is a write-off in that regard, that the money that you spend is not taxable income. Console players need the cosmetics as there's no mods or packs. Exactly. That is our variation. That is our mods, is paying for them, unfortunately. What got you interested in Cities when you first started playing the game? That's a good question. I went back and forth a lot, like generationally, between PC and console gaming. And I was coming out of a PC gaming stint and wanting to get back into just simplicity of console gaming. I built servers, and mostly servers, some desktops for a living. So like in a busy week, like, oh man, I don't even know, like 1U rack mounts, I was building like probably 8 to 10 an hour, 40 plus hours a week. Like, I was like slamming together rack mount servers. I've built literally thousands of computers in my lifetime. And I just got sick of doing that stuff at home, and was on kind of a console kick at the time. Or really kind of on the tail end of a console generation for me. But I had not gotten into a city building game for a long time, and I was like, okay, Cities Skylines console, this is going to be terrible, right? And I was actually pretty impressed. Like, I liked how it played. I thought the controls were pretty decent. There was a lot to learn about the game, so I went, like everybody did, onto YouTube and found Imperial Jedi, but I couldn't find anything about console. Like, I just could not find anything console specific. So I said to myself, okay, I like making videos and playing games, and this is good practice for my day job as a sales engineer, like presenting technical topics and teaching people about things. I'm gonna have some fun making a video, and maybe somebody like me who's playing City Skylines on console will say, I'm gonna go to YouTube and get a tutorial, and they won't be able to find anything but PC players. And you know, maybe they can find some help in my channel, and it really took off. So, like, I don't know, like, what first got me into the game was just wanting to try a city builder on console. What kept me playing the game was almost instantly making content for it and wanting to help other people figure it out too. So, I'm autistic and ADHD, and man, do I love a good brain dump and to hypofixate on something that I really like. And it just was like I was looking for that next thing, and cities and tutorials and let's plays and grinding content on it was what I did for a serious focus for a very long time, and now I come back to it once in a while. Joel from Montreal, bonsoir. What time is it? Almost bon nuit. Criticism of CS2 is justified better than other creators who hid behind their words to keep their keys. It's not even keeping the keys, it's like keeping your audience. And I get, like, I don't mean to talk ill of people, but, like, you can kind of get a sense for what people make on Social Blade. And I don't know how much they're grinding out, like, other sponsorships and stuff, but, like, I would never want to, like, scrape by. I do pretty good for myself, I will say. And, like, even the bigger channels, like, are very dependent on keeping up a positive attitude. Like, you saw, I think, like, right before they announced that Ultimate was coming out and Colossal was fired, like, City Planner Plays, Phil was like, I'm done. I gotta play other games. This is so broken. And then, like, 2 days later, that news came out. It's like, oh my God, news, Cities 2. Let's get excited about Cities 2 content. No, dude, you were out. Just when you thought they were out, they pull you back in. But that's the nice thing about having freedom from that grind, is that I can very much speak from the heart. I do want to speak from the heart. I want to be honest for the community, and especially the console community. Because people watch my stuff and then decide whether they're going to go out and buy it, or they think, like, oh, that looks fun, I'm going to go do that. Or they think, like, look at this colossal idiot and he can make the game work, so I'm sure I will do just fine. But whatever it is, like, I want to make sure people go out with an informed decision. Next season could be a challenge where you have to use all the DLC and use left-hand drive. You had me until the left-hand drive part. I will ban you from this chat because it breaks my brain. Just kidding, but seriously, like, I don't know what it is. Everything falls apart in my brain when I do left-hand traffic. But I think that my next big build, I'm working on New Boston, which is an unlimited money build. But the next thing that I want to do is Plainville 2.0. So a build I did way back in the day, uninstalled all the DLC, did a 9-tile map, grinded through all the milestones, and then added DLC by DLC across multiple episodes. So you will probably be seeing something like that in 2026, and we can throw race day at it and everything too. Don't even know other console channels close to yours. You're important to the community. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that sentiment. And I actually, you know, I think I understand that there are people that share that sentiment as well. And I never want to break that trust. Like, you're gonna find out what I think of that DLC next week, and if it's the best thing, and Tantalus knocked it out of the park, and it's just amazing, I'm gonna scream it from the top of the hills and start a new city and design it all around racetracks and parades and nothing but. But we could also just kind of throw it into a city too and talk about what it really is, which is not anything game breaking, not anything that, like, if you didn't like the game yesterday, you should like it tomorrow when it comes out. because it's not going to be that impactful. Plainville 2.0, yes, AC, it's coming. It's coming soon. Left-hand drive for the win. No, Kanga, no. We're not driving on the left-hand side. We are civilized here. We're not going to start driving on the left-hand side and putting Vegemite on everything with poisonous spiders everywhere. This is not Australia. No. I'm sorry, no. As a pure console player, it truly ekes me when creators neglect console. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Vegemite. Concerts, Kung! Every time with the concerts. We don't have concerts on Xbox and PlayStation, and I bet it's something simple like stupid licensing for the music or something. I don't know. I can't believe they couldn't implement that one. It seems simple enough. Time you out, Kung. I think even if you time him out, he can still time you out because he loses ability to chat. I don't think he loses ability to moderate. Console's still the largest market. While we don't get the player numbers on console like we can for PC, it always hurts us where games are released for console, but creators ignore it exists. Yeah. I talked about this a little bit, and without oversharing the details, I'll briefly touch on it. Like, when Cities 2 was coming out, I apparently was one of the only people using a controller with it because I'm so used to playing it with a controller. What was really cool is because it was all intended to use the same code base and the controls from day one. When as soon as you plug the controller into the PC version, it just changed the UI, and instead of saying up and down, it would say, or page up, page down, it would say D-pad up and down. It changed the road heights. It just instantly changed the UI. But I ran into performance problems almost immediately because, especially at first, there was not the best performance. And you've seen people on PC when they make road networks, they could just zoom way out and, paint the grid and never move the camera. But in console with a controller, or on PC with a controller, your center of your screen is where the road cursor is. So if you want to draw a grid, you have to pan the camera over to pan it down, to pan it over, to pan it down, to pan it over. You have to move the camera. And everyone's like, oh, it works fine for me. Performance is fine. I'm not moving the camera when I draw my roads, just like everybody else who doesn't move the camera when you draw your roads. What do you mean it's a problem when you use a controller? It's it's lagging out like crazy, guys. Is anybody else building with a controller? Crickets. Nobody. I don't want to say if it was just creators or also developers, but nobody was using a fucking controller. What the hell? Come on, guys! You're shipping it with controller support. Plug the thing in. Don't just map the buttons and say it must be fine. Oh, are you okay if we test it? I mean, do short periods, please, because I like having you both in chat. Yes, you can test it. It's totally fine. I'll talk to you both in a couple minutes. Do whatever the shortest period you can. Have you ever played Planet Coaster? I played a little bit of it. A little bit of it on both console and PC, but it wasn't my thing. I like mini bits of management. I like campus. And I like industries. I like a little bit, but I don't like it to be the entire game. I like the building part and the watching part. Those are the fun parts for me. Arthritis prevents you from playing most anything but a controller. My arthritis is limited to both hips and both knees. So I'm not getting on any of those VR rigs where you run around in the circle. But I'm lucky enough that my hands and arms have not been affected yet. But a controller can be much more accessible, and even then, they have the adaptive controller from Xbox is pretty cool for people with all kinds of accessibility issues. And they did support this game really well with a controller. But again, CS2 supporting it well out of the box. But when I reported issues and people were like, I don't understand, and then I had to explain how the game works with a controller plugged in to people who are making the game that supports the controller. And it's just obvious that nobody's actually plugged the controller in when you're explaining it to them. The hips don't lie. Hips don't lie. You can't even time out Kung? That's weird. I can time you both out. Time you almost pocket ban Kung. Yeah, that gets dangerous. Very dangerous. Oh, well, the banning doesn't work. There's a hearse below us. How many camera shots in a row have hearses? This one's coming along. It's coming along. Neighborhood by neighborhood. We need more powers, YouTube. YouTube needs better chat in general. Can I show the MIT campus again? Well, I don't. I mean, I'm going to start working on MIT technically in the new Boston build. My university is over here. Oh, I've never actually officially. Oh, I didn't name the district. River Run University is over here. If I actually zoom out for a moment, sorry for whipping the camera around. If I zoom out up here, this whole build is based. Well, technically, this whole build is inspired by this university idea, and specifically the cherry blossoms, or whatever they are, the beautiful pink trees that blossom in the middle of the quad at University of Washington, Seattle. So, Seattle has this river running through it, and there is this chunk of the land south of the highway, west of the river, that the campus sits on. And I actually had not seen it. And let's open up some wounds here. Is Adia active in the chat? The first time I saw it was during the Netflix Titan sub documentary. And they had done some of their research or design of the sub in combination with a group at University of Washington, Seattle. I believe I am referring to it correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it was all inspired by this beautiful quad with the pink trees. I wish we could change these objects, and I still might do this with like tile and custom props. It's just going to be a lot of work. I would like to replace these and have nothing but the pink trees coming through here. But this campus in particular, one of my favorite spots to view it is from up here on this roof. This is a hotels park asset that comes with the hotels DLC, and then a full campus here including all the sports arenas, as well as baseball and football over here. There's a very inactive parking lot, unfortunately. All the lines disappear pretty quickly when you go out to orbit, but that is the university here. As far as I don't know, do we really technically have a city hall? Not really. We've got a church in the downtown here. This was kind of, is this the tax office? This was, I think tax office was kind of the city hall. Next to the cathedral, this little four corners where the commercial meets downtown, and then there's some residential tucked in behind it. There is our schooling. So like for a town of this size, you'd probably have 125,000. I think you'd get away with like a north and a south, maybe a third high school. But this is kind of a large campus right here. It's actually turned off because we have the Hadron Collider, but it has the, what is this? The community center, sports hall and gymnasium. I always forget. People still park there even though it's turned off. We've got school buses coming and going in front of the high capacity elementary and high school. And then we've got soccer, football, and baseball. The most dangerous baseball field in the world, because there is no kind of backstop whatsoever. So if you sit here and the catcher misses or there's a foul tip, you're probably dead. Somebody's going to die almost every game. There's also no outfield fence, which is, again, also I think frustrating. There'd be a little fence. Like you have this screen, this netting on either side. It just seems like a major oversight. You know what it is? I think I know what it is. It's somebody that knows cricket making baseball stadiums. Because there is like, I don't think there's deadly blowback behind the plate, like literal death zone. But like these people back here like could literally die standing where they're standing during a game. There's no backstop. And unfortunately, it's the same thing with most of the stadiums. Like there's no actual safety netting. And in fact, you know, again, like pitch went off a little off to the side or a foul tip and like people are in the dead zone. Do I have to sign a waiver at the ballpark? Technically, the waiver was implied when you crossed into city boundaries. You just didn't read the fine print because you were driving 60 miles an hour past it, and it's printed in size 1 font on these signs right back here. But technically, you agreed to the liability when you entered the city limits. So it's not my fault if you can't see it up there. I'm sorry. But it is up there clearly written in that white border running around the sign. It's where the legal terms are. There's a City Hall and Landmarks. I don't think I've used it. Or at least not in this build. More right-hand drive accidents because like 90% of the world drives on the right-hand side. Yeah, exactly. That's going to skew the numbers. Definitely going to skew the numbers. Man, if you want, like, there's a weird, ask somebody that drives regularly in France. I didn't even understand the law when my buddy tried to explain it to me in like 2000. But like, when it's a 4-way intersection, if it isn't marked, the person to the right has the right of way. So like everybody has dents and dings on the same side of their car because they all happens from like not giving way to the person on the right and thinking that they had the right of way. So it's just like, this is like clockwork, like constantly dings in the same 2 spots of cars. Like either where that front collision point would be or where like the back point would be for somebody swerving away from a potential collision. Attempting a drive, it's just, I mean, I'll get some driving going. Hide. No? Hide. Why is it not hiding the interface? There we go. It's not worth going to cat court. No right away when Gramps drives. I mean, he's got right away, right? What age group are we talking? And is he from the United States? And a former veteran, because all those will add up very quickly to a lot less consideration on the road. Some donut truck launches. We could find a spot. Where's there's a good hill to launch off of? You know what? We could always make a good one. I think we made a good one last time. Let's see here. Can we do this? Like, we don't need to create nodes if we don't have to, but like whatever. Okay, we got this. Did we give ourselves a little bumper at the end? I'm not going to be able to keep it straight this far, right? There's no way I'm going to be able to keep it straight on that long of a road. Not walk. We want to drive. And we need a donut truck. There she goes. Okay. Let's get it on the straightaway before we worry about accelerating too fast. If you haven't tried to drive in this game, don't point the blame at me. The controls are not particularly good. Okay. Well, that's not a great start. Okay, we got this. I just got to get up here. Okay, here we go. Let's go! Can we drive out through here? We're stuck, right? Can we get out through that? Is there a vehicle that can get out through that? Here we go. Okay, well we did it. We crossed the river. We should probably... This is not very safe. We don't want the kids going up there. Challenging each other. Making TikToks. Left-hand drive in Plainsville? I will consider it. It literally broke my brain, though. I kind of feel like if I give myself anything to think about other than that being the entire build, like, I don't know what it is. Do left-hand drivers build right-hand drive? Like, are you, let me ask you this. Are you asking for it because you're used to left-hand driving? And Kanga, what does Kanga build? I need to know what Kanga builds. Because Kanga comes from left-hand driving, but has been a right-hand drive transplant for a very long time. And also, I think, exclusively does the driving, if I'm not mistaken. Does Cheeky have a license? Does Cheeky drive? I feel like Cheeky doesn't drive. Not that he can't, but just like maybe he doesn't even have an active license? I don't know. No, he does, because he was at the DMV. I just don't know if he flexes it ever. Yeah. I remember him waiting at the DMV. What time is it in the UK? 5 ahead of us right now, or 4 ahead of us? Is it 2:21 in the morning? Or 3:21 in the morning? I think they are +4 right now. 3:21, they're +5, okay. If you're GMT, I don't know. The whole daylight savings thing is such a mess. I have a license, but I don't drive much. I left the house for the first time in a week, but I also had been away from the house for over 2 weeks, so I think I had an excuse last week to really veg out. Kanga called right-hand driving the wrong side. Can you time her out for 10 seconds? I mean, she does have a very handy intersection tutorial that I don't remember. I think it might have been right-hand drive. So I think for accessibility purposes, she says that, but also she knows. No DST where you live? Are you... I mean, I don't... You kind of shared it. The only place that I know of for sure is Arizona that I can think of. If you were in AZ and willing to share, you can feel free to admit, or if you want to share where you are. You don't have to, though. But I just figured it would be AZ, because... Have to make a correct side intersection. Left-hand drive is superior. You know what I do find super awkward, though? Like a left-hand drive road with a right-hand drive car. I cannot get used to the idea of shifting with my left hand and the pedals not also being reversed. I don't know. I expect the gas to be on the interior of the car, not the clutch in the center. It would throw me off so badly. I almost want to totally mirror my feet too, if we're going to mirror that I have to have my left hand on the shifter. Still have manual clocks to change. I have watches. I have 3 watches. And then we've got like the microwaves. So the microwave, the oven, and we have 1 clock hanging over our stairs from upstairs to down to ground level. Arizona and Hawaii don't spring forward or fall back. I can barely drive. Couldn't imagine left-hand driving. I would have a meltdown. What's a watch? Yeah, I still have old school. I have old school watches. I have a Timex and a Casio, and a nice watch that Kanga and Cheeky actually got me. Thank you very much. But I don't go with anything like too fancy. I'm not bougie. I just like having a timepiece, so I don't like pull my phone out of my pocket every 37 seconds to look at what time it is because I forgot. Break will be the same spot in the middle. That's a good point. That's the important one. You need to know where it is. Because going fast is optional. Stopping always has to happen. For one reason or another. Works like clockwork? You don't say. You don't say that the watch works like clockwork. So when is the DLC? Tuesday? I think. Assuming that the release goes correctly. Definitely check back if you're interested next week on checking out the DLCs before you drop money on them. Smooth Mouse, do you think you can make assets for CS1 that can be for everyone? Me personally, today, no. In another world, I did a lot of map building and asset creation in the early 2000s for Unreal Tournament 99 and Unreal Tournament 2003 and 2004. So it was, I think, around Unreal Engine 3 to 4 time. Somewhere in there. And Unreal map making is really cool in a way. It's very different from a lot of other map making because it's kind of like carving a marble structure. You have to like start with this solid space that is the plane of existence for your map and then hollow it out almost. And then you can stick like static meshes to it. It's really kind of interesting how they did it from a design perspective. But back in the day, like I was very into, 3D art and assets and doing all those things. I am like 20 years behind now. I've never touched Blender. Could I? Probably. But I have too many other things that I want to do and won't really get to do that. There is one thing that I really want badly in Cities 1, and I would definitely pay for it. And I'd love to sneak one in on a content creator pack somehow. I would love for there to be a Fenway Park. Fenway Park is such a different baseball stadium from everything else out there. And I don't know how the licensing works. I know you can't call it that, but maybe you could do something funny shaped with a big green wall. It's just so different. It's so different from every other stadium out there. And I would love to see it in CS1. I just don't think I'm ever going to go around and making it, so I got to commission somebody. But that would probably be a PC version thing. Again, unless we can get them to sneak it into a CCP somehow. Have to drive both feet, even on automatics. No, Sin! No! Don't! No! Don't hover brake. Get get some kind of foot widget installed so you can rest your foot on that. My cousin drove my car. I had what did I have? I had a GMC Jimmy at one point. And like not the big one, not the one that was like the Bronco, the one that was like a smaller traditional SUV 4-door. And my cousin drove it, and she was used to driving her Pontiac 4-speed. And she drove back from Boston in traffic and was like, I kept telling her, like, please stop riding my brake. She was, what did she had? She had like 4 years on me or something. We were coming back from an event in Boston, and my mom was like, just let her drive. Like, okay. And like, I'm just like, my brain is melting. Just like, you're destroying my brakes riding them the whole way back home. Like, please stop killing my car. So I can't stand left foot brakes on an automatic. No, because I watched my cousin damage my car very much. A nuked Fenway Park, if you like. Oh my God, yes. Stacked and elevated roads would be awesome. Having some road tools and additional options, like this is what I hope that somebody hears. City 2 is not fun to play without mods. Mods are not coming to CS2 on console. Stop working on CS2 on console and spend your time on making Remastered a better game however you can. Bring some of those fixes to the game, and I know you can do it. I can't say why, but I know you could do it. All right, Dan, have a good evening. Thanks for joining. Tune in next week. I'll be playing the new DLC and sharing my honest thoughts for sure. So appreciate you. All right. Don't ride brakes. I know that's your first thought, but I promise that's not how I do. Well, I'm not necessarily saying you drive them, but like it's a potential. It's a potential. So many homunculus. We do have to look at transport at some point. I mean, I guess we could look at it now, see what's happening. What do we have? Can we just go? We can just go to transport routes, right? So we've got 3 bus lines. How do we? Where do we, like, how do we go to it? How am I hiding the line? Oh, I'm hiding the line. That's why. So this goes around the residential neighborhoods and it goes to the high school. So literally all this does is move people around residential neighborhoods to the high school to make it look like this is delivering students back and forth from the main residential neighborhoods here on this side of the map. I think that's all the buses do, right? This one hits the bottom left, the Coline Francesi, and it should come back up, I imagine. Yep, it's back over here. And then our red line does the same thing from the east. So again, so you get a lot of like buses traveling around the smaller low density areas like this and destined for the schools. So honestly, it is just like a design and realism thing to make this one thing happen. It's not for effective bus networks. It's literally the only 3 bus lines we have in the city. All right, take it easy. Enjoy GTA. The driving's much better in there. GTA 6 before CS2 on console. I'm just saying now. How much money is all the DLC plus the game? I don't know for sure. And depending on what platform you're on, I think it's considerably cheaper on PC, especially if you consider gray market sellers like instant gaming. I personally stay away from gray market sellers because the developers generally hate it. And not saying that Cities and Paradox necessarily need the money that bad. Probably the consumer needs it more. But I like to support the devs when I can, and gray market key stores don't support the devs in a great way, because what they do is they buy the game in the cheapest market they can and then resell those keys. right? So if it's cheaper to buy it in another currency or in another region, they scoop up a bunch of those and then resell those keys in another region where the game is more expensive and make their money marginally that way. So it's not like, what was it, G to A, that was like just straight up selling stolen keys, but it's gray market. And if you go on like certain Discords or Reddit threads, they don't want you to talk about it because they lose money. So if you want to support the devs, go for it. But yeah, the game is not a cheap game. So $272.91 currently on Steam. Is that including the radio though too, Kong? Is that like all the radio? Is that everything? Because you could chop off probably 25 to 50 bucks easy just from not getting the radio stations, which some of the radio stations are really good, but you can also listen to them on Spotify, and you probably have Spotify or YouTube Music or Apple Music or something that has a lot of that music already, because they want you to stream it too, because they get money that way. But it is a lot of money. It is, and that's why we see a fire in the background. That one should get put out pretty easy, right? It's just a single fire. That's nothing. That'll go. It got cheaper. Yeah, I think it was over. I think like at release it was over $400, maybe close to $5 at this point if you bought everything at release day. Like I said, not all of them are necessary. The radio stations definitely are not. If you are playing on PC, you have the workshop, and you need the content creator packs and assets a lot less, because there are tons and tons of buildings you can buy or get for free in the workshop to bring variety into your map. The only way we can really do that on console is with the DLCs, unfortunately, with the content creator packs. What's this game all about? It's about city building and city management. And the first one is free to play on Steam this weekend. It also comes with Game Pass on Xbox and with tiers 2 and 3 of whatever the PlayStation Now service is. I forget what it's called now. I haven't had it in like over a year. But they have I think 3 tiers, in the premium and the extra or whatever. Both have City Skylines Remastered available on it. If you play on Xbox, it is available on I think the base Game Pass. So if you have Live and Core, I'm pretty sure you might own the base game already. What city is this? This is a city called River Run that I've made on live stream. So I forget when we started, sometime back in the fall. Not that long ago. I don't even know. I kind of want to see now. I'm curious. But I have over $1 billion in the bank. We've been playing totally legitimate. There's a lot of buildings that are turned off. There's a lot of things that are happening in the background here. The pop-ups in the industries are actually good, because it's telling us that we have more produced goods than we need currently, and we will ship that stuff out to the factories nearby. But as you can see, we're making lots of money. We've got 125,000 people. We are doing this with 87% traffic flow, and this is console, so there's no mods. It's just DLC and base gameplay, and using all the tricks that we can with that to have a nice functioning city and a ton of money in the bank. But when did we start this? I started this on a live stream. Oh man, it was a little while back. 8 months ago. I didn't realize it was that long. When was it? June 14th I started this build. But it was not that long ago that it finally crossed over into $1 billion. That was just about a month ago. This is original City Skylines, specifically remastered on the Xbox. So 25 tile city, no mods. Why does it look like that? I'm assuming you're talking about the UI, and that's because it's console. Which do I think is better in terms of like Cities 1 or Cities 2? Definitely Cities 1. I think remastered is better than the base game on consoles. And I don't think there's a big difference between playing remastered on PlayStation or Xbox, whatever your platform of choice is. Bought it years ago, watched your stuff, and that's what got me into the game. Awesome. I hope it's awesome. Is it a French game? Do I need to know French? No, not absolutely. No, it's what? It's Swedish and Finnish technically. Did I have is it because I had the Colline Francesi? This is French Hill, which is a neighborhood. The game is not itself in French in any way. CS1 best, CS2 visually better with some better mechanics, but lack of variety and poor interface. I think that's a great way to put it, Jay Murray. Cities 1 is a better, more fun game. It's more fleshed out. The systems work better. CS2 can look visually better. Like, it does look impressive, and it can look impressive depending on what you have for hardware. It can also vary quite a bit on the other end of the spectrum and not look so hot. And ultimately, the systems are not that fun and don't really work well together, to the point where even mods, at least at the end of the year, weren't able to fix some game-breaking bugs. I don't know if that has come around at all, but I know City Planner Plays was like ready to quit due to those. I don't know if that has changed. I don't keep up enough with the meta of CS2. I just know that for me, I go back every couple months to check it out, and it still doesn't feel fun to play. And I'm just like, why am I playing a game that I am not enjoying playing when I can go back and play CS1? It feels better. It's more intuitive. I don't, looks aside, I still want to have fun playing the game, and I don't have fun playing CS2. $360 game. That's for, I don't. Mic quality sounds great. Maybe a little quiet, but super nice. What mic is it? So this is actually one of the cheapest mics I've used in a long time. It is a Fifine dynamic microphone. It has, there you go, XLR option, but also just a straight up USB-C. It does not have the best shock mount that I've had. But in the past, I've used this most recently. Before this, I was using an XLR Audio-Technica AT2035. I love it. I like the dynamic, though, for its ability to reduce some background noise. I've got a really quiet, treated room, so like there's not a lot of problems with it. But I do like the simplicity of the dynamic mic. It is a jukebox, and I am a musician as well. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff back here. That is not it will not play vinyl. It's got actually a pretty cool light setup, like a real jukebox. But it does, there's a Bluetooth adapter in the back. It'll do radio, it'll do CDs, and it will also play MP3 CDs, so you can burn 20 albums to a disc and pop them in. But I just play off my Bluetooth on my phone on Spotify usually. And then musical wise, there's a bass over here tucked in by the fireplace. And then on my other side, there's an 88 key fully weighted Casio. And above that is one of my favorite things. It is the Juno 106, a Roland from, actually a couple months older than my wife. So that thing is fun, but the way that the voice chips are dying, you could play the same thing exactly the same. It'll never sound the same twice. It's like a dying cat, but in electronic form. So it's just it'll never play the same thing twice. But yeah, Fifine microphone, keep it nice and simple. I think it's like $40 on Amazon. I've used, $200 condensers. I'm not gonna go out and get a Shure SM7. I don't think that's worth the investment for the sound quality. This does good enough. If I yell, you can hear the difference between a Shure and something like this, but whatever. For what I'm doing, it's fine. It's a pastime more than anything. I've invested a lot into this setup, but You get the Rodecaster. The Rodecaster's not bad, and that will power a lot of different mics. It's about finding the right mic, one for your voice, and two for your application. So like if you've got, if you're doing voiceover work and just reading lines, you want a condenser. If you're, clicking keyboards and controllers, you probably want a dynamic to pick up a little bit less of the sound around the room. And then I still have one of my oldest mics, the Yeti, on a separate arm that I use for work. So the same desk I work my job remotely, and I figured like, oh, why switch cables or bounce around? Like I've got an extra arm, I've got an extra mic, so I just have both routed on my desk. Slightly on the quiet side, I mean, I could amplify that a little bit. I could put, better compression on my voice. I only have the only thing I am doing to process my voice in this setup is a limiter. So when I scream like an idiot, it, hopefully won't crack your speakers. Not that it's not offensive to your ears, but I could definitely process it a little bit better. So like when I do video content, I definitely process my voice more. Oh, I got a bit quieter when I ended the full screen. Was fine before that? That's weird. I don't know. I wonder if I have my audio levels set differently. What's different in the chat? I mean, the chat is not playing the game sound in the background, but other than that, it should be the same. So I don't know. It doesn't appear to be set any differently, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Just got louder. Okay, I don't know. Wait, which is louder? Here or in chatting? It very well could also be the angle of the head, because when I'm looking over to the right, so here, I'm not going to change scenes. I am going to look over to the right though and talk that way at the screen instead of talking in front of the microphone. So like addressing the microphone, talking like you don't want to talk right into the microphone. You ideally want to talk where the sound of your voice is passing in front of, not like directly at. If you spit, you want to spit in front of it. You don't want to spit at it, basically, essentially. But the sound will change a lot if I'm getting behind it or if I'm leaning in front of it. And that might be part of it as I'm going to the other screen. Being unprofessional as a broadcaster, essentially. Edge of Map Fog Systems. I missed the Todd. I'll get quicker on my soundboard next time. Sounds fine to you? And please never talk into the microphone again. Is it worse with headphones when I do that? Am I in your brain? I'm sorry, I'll stop. And usually it's me yelling into the microphone. I don't know if that's any better. I think you should talk directly into the microphone for the rest of the stream just for Amanda. It's horrible on TV. Oh no. Just wait till I start telling your Alexa to play terrible songs. Which actually might, some of you, it might do that right now because I said the A word, play terrible songs. So it might be looking for something right now. I apologize. We didn't set the volume to 10 before we did it, though. You sound like every Fortnite player when you're talking to the mic. Usually trigger the G word. Yeah, sorry. I do ask questions of my G word a lot. I think I still haven't upgraded. I might still be on assistant on this one in my office. I've definitely set off some Amazon products over the years for sure. One time I told it to turn the volume up to 10 and then play Who Let the Dogs Out. That's fun. That's fun if it's not happening to you. It's not so fun if you have to run across the room because it can't hear you when you want to turn it off. You like the assistant more? Yeah, I don't want to upgrade to Gemini. I'm holding off as long as I can. Cheeker's still fighting over the G Home voice. It's now home wide instead of by device. Oh, really? Wait, like in terms of which it will recognize as an authenticated voice, or in terms of who you have to listen to? Do you listen to different voice assistants? And now you have to pick one for the whole home? That's a terrible choice if it's required that way. Cheeky wants an Aussie woman and you want an American man. You two are so perfect for each other. It's great. That's so wholesome. For those of you that don't know, Kanga is an Aussie woman and Cheeky is an American man, and they are married. And they both want the assistant to sound like each other effectively. Maybe that's just so Cheeky can yell at it when you're not home and get all the frustration out. That's why he's so calm all the time. Because he's screaming at the Google Assistant all day. Yelling at an Aussie woman. An American? Can you show us what cities are? I mean, kind of. Sometimes we talk about the actual stuff that's happening in the background. Not always. Not always. I wonder if there are any people tuning in tonight that like have not played the game at all. It is a very fun. The first game is still ranked very highly across the different platforms. Great little city builder. A lot of DLC if you're gonna buy into the game. I definitely would take some time to research and find some honest opinions on the DLCs, because they are not all amazing or required, and I think you can get a couple of them to really expand your gameplay, but they're definitely not things that like make or break the experience for the most part. Do you think CS1 getting another remaster with all the DLC and constantly remaster it to give us more room? I mean, another it doesn't need another remaster. They just need to keep small improvements coming on this one. Like if they do little things like they do with the free updates, like roadside fences. It doesn't have to be this amazing thing. Like they could do tiny little things to really improve the game and give us quality of life. But of course, they're not going to invest that time if they aren't continuing to give us ways to monetize the game. The only reason to keep the game running as a platform is to continue to sell us DLCs. So I think the only thing that would drive that decision is not so much a necessity of like, oh, we really need a new remastered engine. Like, no, we just need remastered to do some things it doesn't do today. But ultimately, what will guide that decision more than what we want as consumers is their ability to build DLC into it. So if it starts to become impossible to put more DLC on top of it, maybe there'll be a remastered 2.0 or some major update to it. But it will only be if it is in a way where it can service selling you more DLC. That's just the nature of this. For anyone that doesn't believe that, please notice that, again, I mentioned it earlier, Ultimate Edition for CS2 released in December. They fired Colossal Order, new studio in the mix. Here we are, March. They did not miss a quarter without releasing something to sell you. It might be amazing. It might be great. It is less than 3 months after the disaster of finishing the Ultimate Edition. They are driven by profit. They need to sell you something new every quarter, and they've got a new studio in place to start delivering on those expectations. And they did not miss the boat, and they delivered selling you more stuff in March, in quarter, which is essential for them to show quarter-over-quarter improvements to shareholders. This is very essential. So, Colline Francesi, that's French. It is. It is. But that's just the name of a district. You can name your districts whatever you want. In fact, I don't even know what most of the districts are called. Meadow Park, Central Park East, Park District. A lot of them are just not even named. Transportation Ticket Center, I just got back from Disney. And of course, that is where you park your car and take the boat across the water. It is our metropolitan airport. I still yet to this day have not built an actual airport with the airport's DLC, so I probably would not recommend that one strongly. The sewage outlet for the city, I would love to show you that, because this is actually one of my favorite things to hide and tuck away. Is that a tree or a house on fire? That could be a lot of things on fire. How, they're already there. Okay. So my sewage outlet is actually over here. Right there. So if you have... What DLC is it? Is it mass transit? If you go into water features and set up a canal, you can put canals underwater, and then you can snap the, in this case, what is it? The Green City's Eco Water Treatment Plant, and snap that to the sidewalls. I think you could get it a little bit deeper. Like I think it's possible to totally bury them underwater, but maybe not. Maybe you're always going to see that little bit. And because the river flows on screen left to right, I've got all my intake over here. So it's all hidden kind of under the water. You can see it is powered and connected. I could probably get rid of the power line connections and just have one of the water turbines, advanced turbines there. Same thing over here. It's just an advanced turbine powering that. So I don't need those lines there, but it's just a way that you can really hide away your water treatment and water intake. And the eco water treatment combined with the Eden Project Monument, which reduces pollution, and these reduce like 85%. So you effectively get no pollution. So like you can see there's pollution in the buildings that pollute, like the industrial factories and some of the, I don't know, like the bakery or something. These industrial buildings in the Coline Francesi, the paper mills. Like there's some buildings that are worse than others, but they don't really spread their pollution beyond the building. And in the case of water, not at all, as you can see, because again, this is polluted water being dumped out, and you don't see any problem with it. You can fully submerge them. Okay, so I could go a little bit deeper here before putting the canal. That is a hack. Yes, that's a hack that I love. I love hiding away all the water infrastructure, because you do need, it's kind of ridiculous how many, like the mile of water treatment plants you need to have for a city of 100,000 people. It's kind of crazy. Some of the above ground metro stations come with Sunset Harbor and the daycare. Yeah, that sounds right. Sometimes it's the free update too around that time, but the above ground stations, I think definitely that does sound right. It'll actually tell you, won't it, when you go into like this one is a plazas and promenades building. And then what if you go into, is it the hub buildings, like the stuff like that, or that was it Metro, the above ground Metro? Like this station was plazas and promenades. That's just base games that doesn't have a DLC icon on it. So that's nice that they included the elevated metro and the on-ground metro station for some options. Cool stuff with trains, but I've never made enough space for trains. Welcome to the stream, everybody that's jumping in. I appreciate you. And I know if you're coming in to chat, you've also subscribed. It is to avoid bots, but I appreciate you taking a chance and adding something to your subscription feed. But let's be honest, who's using the subscription feed in 2026? The algorithm either has you or it doesn't. It has me figured out incredibly, because like it knows what I watch in the morning. It knows what I watch in the evening. It knows what I watch when I'm trying to fall asleep. Like, depending on what time of day I am turning my phone on, the algorithm is scary. It's kind of wild. Oh, why do I have it on top chat too? So I don't know if I've been missing stuff. I apologize. Still use your sub feed? It'll die if they ever take it away. How do you use a sub feed in 2026? How many subscriptions do you have? I must know. Because I don't even know if it will display how many I have anymore. Like, it's insane how many I have. And my subscription feed is just absolutely clogged. But I come from a time when we used to sub to like any channel we ever might want to see again because the algorithm didn't know how to surface stuff to us. And then that dramatically changed, I think, in the last couple of years. I mean, not that I've been using the sub feed for forever, but you know, the active subscribing to channels you want to see more of just killed that feed for me because I must have over 1,000 channels I'm sub to. A perfectly curated sub feed. I appreciate that I am on that perfectly curated sub feed. I assume I shouldn't speak too soon. Maybe I didn't make the cut. She just stops by for the streams. Think I'm going to get the bundles for the CS1 DLC. I mean, okay. Can we find let's do a DLC tier list. Tier list. City Skylines 1. City Skylines DLC. City Skylines DLC tier list. When did this... That doesn't have all the DLCs, does it? Did I do this already? Can we find one that is recent? Could one of the mods help me out? So can you find a tier maker that has most of the city's DLCs and shoot me a link? Because I'm seeing a bunch of them, but a bunch of them are missing DLCs. Member, so you're subscribed. Do you have to? Are you subscribed to automatically be a member? I'm gifting out memberships. So I think some people are just getting it. Or do you have to be a subscriber to then catch a membership? YouTube, yeah, YouTube replaced television for me over a decade ago. Easily over. Whenever YouTube Red came out, I was already so invested that I was like, oh my God, a way to remove ads consistently and still support the channels. When did YouTube Red come out? 20. I think I've been paying for YouTube essentially for 11 years. October 2015. I got it like the week it came out. I was like, yes. Ad block's fine, but like I also appreciate the ecosystem and supporting the creators. So I've been giving money to YouTube. And I do see like what the membership, or not membership, the like if you were a premium member, it's better than like someone supporting a channel by watching ads for the same amount of content they watch. Unless they watch an absolutely disgusting amount of YouTube, because essentially what it does is it takes your YouTube premium revenue, does a split with YouTube, and then based on who you watch, it divides up the rest of that revenue to all the different channels that you watch. And at least at the, you know, for quite a while with all my Let's Plays and tutorials and stuff, watch time is something that does pretty well on my channel. So it pays pretty well for the premium stuff, which is cool. So if you're a YouTube premium member, the more you watch a channel, the better you're supporting them essentially. Kit Boga got a lot of my premium funds last year. I like fall asleep to that all the time. I don't know what it is about people yelling at him that I find so relaxing, but it's Edna mostly. Never watch TV unless it's sports? Yeah, I don't even watch sports anymore. Like I watch the highlights the next day. It's fine by me. Give me the 7-minute version of the game, please. I'm aware the premium boosts in support, which is why I love watching smaller channels. Always helps them more. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it does. It can make a big difference. We've got Monster Cat music back on the stream. I'm going to use it for streaming, probably not for like content creation because of the way the licensing works, but for streaming where most of the views happen during the actual live, then that is totally fine. I don't mind losing the revenue on that later. Anytime the Red Sox lose, it's a great watch. Well, I'm glad we could make you happy for so many years, but also sorry to have disappointed you possibly a lot over the last 20 years. Definitely 2004 to like 2018 was an amazing streak. They were always contenders. But that's the thing, like it was hard growing up as a Red Sox fan. Wait, hold on a second.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
I got in a little late on that edge of map fog, but Todd was there to help me out. You know, being a Red Sox fan was really tough growing up when they just continuously disappoint you and you keep coming back for more of that disappointment. I think, like, I always thought people that were Yankees fans like had it so easy because, like, sure, be a fan of the team that always wins. That's easy. Wear the hat of the team that rips your freaking heart out every fall. Like, oh, they don't start so good, and then they go on this amazing tear and come from like the back of the league to the front of the pack. Like, this is it. This is the year. And then September comes and they just fall apart every year. Doesn't matter how much they spend on the payroll. Again and again and again. Like, try being a kid growing up with that, wearing that hat. It's tough. Yankees fans are like the old Red Sox fans now. Yeah, we kicked their luck out, essentially. Squirrel moments. He's back there too. I don't know. Does he show on the? Does he show? He doesn't show where he is. Hold on. I'm going to adjust it with the actual controls instead of me moving the camera and like knocking it way off. Can we see him? You can't really see him in this light. But Doug is back there watching over us next to Bob Ross. Back into game. There we go. I didn't mean to turn the lights all the way off. I meant to do like that. Maybe that. It's fine like that. Okay. But I can put this back down now a little bit. There we go. This is a free weekend for City. So if you're on PC, you can check it out on Steam for free. If you're on console, I don't believe that is the case. But if you're on Xbox, it is part of Game Pass. I believe the base version, but check before you buy. And it is also available remastered on the PS5, Tier 2 and Tier 3 of the, I think what was called PlayStation Now, whatever their on-demand Game Pass equivalent is. Every time Mouse puts the big camera on and stares into it, I'm always stuffing my face and feel like I'm being judged. Well, that's terrible timing. What is that anyways? What are you eating over there? The BRB. The BRB with no audio, I realize. Stop. Oh, man. So, yeah, it is free to play weekend, and there are ways to get into it a little bit cheaper, right? If you have, you don't have to go buy it. If you wanted to try it on Xbox, there is the Game Pass option, and then there is the PlayStation Now or whatever option. Again, Tier 2 or Tier 3, Premium and Extra or whatever it's called. I probably should have looked that up. But so there are ways to try the game without having to buy it, even if you don't have a free-to-play option available. I think I think it's worth it at this stage. Like if you were into Cities, like let's say you had the old console version, you just never got remastered. I think it's worth picking it up at this point. If you're still interested in Cities 1 as a game, it's not going to dramatically change the experience. It hasn't completely reinvented itself, but the first game was always the better game. It was always rated pretty well. And this is a very serviceable port if you're a console player. And if you are a console player, I happen to know somebody who has a lot of tutorials to get you started, and the game has not changed that much over the years. So we're also still not done doing them. There'll be more stuff coming soon, actually. Playing it right now, part of my background noise. I'm cool with that. It's only around $5 on Steam right now. That's a steal. I mean, technically you can get it for free right now on Steam, but it's all the DLC that they want. Like the free to play is very intentional. They want you to try it for free because they know you'll like the game. If you're even thinking about it, like if you're into city builders, it's the city builder. You know, it took over from SimCity. This game has a lot of refinement over the years, and especially on PC, there's mods and a whole community of assets and incredible things you can put into the game. Absolutely a steal at $5 if you want to add it to your library. Just know that there's plenty of stuff though that they want you to also love and potentially buy. And that right now, I think Kong had checked, it's like $270 for everything, but that includes radio stations, but it's still like $200 worth of content if you want all the things that you see. I was lucky enough to get the majority of them free as a content creator until I criticized Cities 2, and then I stopped getting stuff for free. If you own Cities, you get the remaster for free. If you bought the digital version, if you got like the Games with Gold free version or the PlayStation equivalent as a free giveaway one particular month, and you didn't actually buy the game, you don't get the upgrade. Also, if you had the disc version of Cities Skylines 1 on console, you do not get remastered. So there's two caveats that I know for sure that would disqualify you from getting the remaster for free. So just do keep that in mind. I wasn't old enough to remember SimCity. That gets a full camera stare. It can't. There was one that came out in like 2013. You see the white hair poking out from underneath my beanie. I was born in 78, so like I remember all the SimCities on computer and SimCity 2000 on this. Was it the Super Nintendo? They've been around for a while. But I think like when was the SimCity that they killed was like 2013, right? They came out with that always online SimCity, and people were like, no, this is terrible. $27 right now and $70 normally. Are you looking at CS2? Because Cities 1 on Steam should be free to play. But 2 would be a regular 70 price for the ultimate. I don't even know. 2013, yep, wasn't old enough to know. Oh my God. Whole new generation. DRM always online, not very fun. Yeah. Yeah. They and it's funny, like, so you look at, like, there's always a company that steps up to fill the void. SimCity messed up hard, and Colossal Order was like, let's do city building right. Let's do what SimCity was doing before they messed up. And they took that model so hard that they were like, okay, let's build an awesome, competent city builder, and then just like SimCity, follow it up with a very incompetent, poorly planned out idea that kills the brand in the studio. So like, you nailed it, guys. You really nailed it. You did exactly what SimCity did, to the point that you're no longer the developer of the product anymore. Just like Maxis, which actually got closed, I think, altogether by EA, but Yeah, I think people do. People are curious what you were eating when I stared you down, Adia, if you want to share. I need Surviving Mars Reloaded to be free to play. That one's such a kick in the pants because, like, they fixed the game with the relaunch, the remaster essentially, that they're not supplying an update for in the base game, and people are I think rightfully pissed about that. Like, all this DLC, I'm pretty sure all this DLC works for base console. Like, you can go get Race Day and play it on the 9-tile Xbox One from 15 years ago. But not relaunch. If you want the fix, you got to buy the relaunch, not play the old game. And that kind of stinks. A few people trying to take The Sims, but I'm not sure that they've actually come out. No, yeah, I mean, Paradox had one and they killed it. They were really going for, like, let's eat EA's lunch with the city building and then The Sims. They were going to do Life by You. I'm pretty sure they were going to tie it all together. That would be my guess as to why The Sims had teeth at first. Like, why do you need models that detailed unless you're, like, letting people import their Sims and move them into your city and vice versa? Like, I think that could be kind of... There could have been a cool crossover mechanic there that could have sold some extra copies, but... Says free to play on Steam, but it's charging me $3.99 Canadian. It's free to play, but not with your Monopoly money. We need at least 4 Monopoly monies for it to be free for you. Even Monopoly money, it's not free. Amanda's up in Canada. That's the CAD. Race Day broke the 81 tiles mod? No. Why? That stinks when everybody has to come back and fix stuff, or, like, things get orphaned and then someone has to make, like, a temporary update and you have to unsubscribe from the old one, and people break their maps and they don't realize and they don't come back to the game because like, modding and dealing with all that crap is frustrating. It's one of the things that's really nice about the console version. You just, like, have to push the game to its limits and it doesn't matter as much because hopefully they account for the game having been there before. They don't have to account for the mods having been there. But this town has been fun to make. I'm definitely going to do... I think I have to do a new Plainville. Amanda, do we do the same map? Like, I mean, so one of the things with Plainville, so Plainville's the city I did where we uninstall all the DLC. We start from scratch, so it kind of has to be one of the original 9-tile maps. We go through, build it all up, and then, like, one by one stack the different DLCs in different neighborhoods. It looks nice and woody. The home of Avril Lavigne. The true north, strong and free. Has Paradox gone under? No, not yet. If they keep up this baloney, yes. But, you know, I don't need a crystal ball for that one. They make the original, or they don't make it; they publish it. So Cities, the original Cities, was made by Colossal Order and published by Paradox Interactive. The second one was made by Colossal Order and published by Paradox Interactive. Paradox basically fired Colossal Order, and now Iceflake makes Cities 2 going forward, including any new DLC that's coming out, except for, of course, the content creator packs. And then Tantalus, who made previously the console version and remastered version of Cities 1, now has taken over all development efforts for CS1. So when Race Day comes out, that is not made by Colossal Order anymore. That is made by Tantalus. So this is the first time they've implemented their own DLC. So this is, I think, going to be interesting because it's not just porting over something that worked on PC into the Xbox or the PlayStation. inventing that thing from the ground up and building it into the game on PC and porting it into Xbox and PlayStation. So we'll see how that goes. It could be interesting. Harold from Fallout is now in City Skylines. For certain. How long does it take Harold to get to his job at the factory? You know, I don't know. I mean, he took a bus there. Harold took a bus there. So let's see. You know what? Technically, he would never get there because in thinking about the bus lines don't actually service the Skylines Francese. So where would he go? He would take the orange bus. He would probably take the orange bus to here and then walk, I would guess. It's not a great trip for Harold. He would probably walk it up here, and then the ice cube factory is this little guy, the only one that has not been built back up. It's not one of the modern industrial evolution. It is just straight up old industry. And that is our ice cube factory. If they taste a little funny, it's because the ground is polluted here, but you know, what can you do? The point isn't really how long does it take him to get to the job, it's how long does he have at home, which is 3.5 hours, including sleep, eating, and bathroom breaks. So he's got to hurry right back. We need him. He is essential. Because we refuse to pay for AI innovations that would replace his job, because we'd also have to clean the robots, where Harold just deals with the pollution at home. He showers it off, takes it home. We don't have to worry about it. Not our problem anymore. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, Harold was... I did like a day in the life of a sim. Let me find it. I'll put it on real quick. My channel, new tab. Can I use this thing to do that? Where was Harold? It's going to be under videos because I never post videos. I do live streams now. Here it is. Hang on 2 seconds. It's going to get quiet real quick because I have to go to capture.
In the far reaches of a modest digital world, nestled between pixelated rivers and tree-lined highways, lies a settlement known simply as River Run. Here, amidst carefully zoned districts and winding service roads, we find a creature both industrious and tragically unaware, the humble sim. Our story follows one such sim. Let us call him Harold. Each morning, as the simulated sun crests over the skyline, Harold emerges from his quaint abode on Birchwood Street. He boards a bus, meticulously routed by the unseen hand of the city planner, and travels east toward the industrial quarter. It is here, in the shadow of exhaust vents
That's the Skylines Francese.
and sewage treatment plants, that Harold toils. Day after day, he labors within the ice cube factory. The air is heavy, the soil tainted, the chirping of birds long since replaced by the droning of cargo trucks and the distant wail of ambulances. Yet Harold perseveres, contributing to the city's economy, even as it chips away at his own longevity. At day's end, he returns to his home in River Run, a place that was once idyllic, now tinged with the consequences of unchecked growth. His children play beneath the murky haze, his neighbors fall ill more frequently, and still the factories expand. Unbeknownst to Harold, his fate lies not in his own hands, but in those of the great overseer. Harold remains a tireless cog in the machine. A digital soul in a city of endless possibilities and quiet tragedies. The life of a sim forever bound to the code that governs him. And tomorrow he will wake and do it all again.
That was pretty fun. I enjoyed making that one. I enjoyed that a lot. Oh man, donating because Harold is my hero. Hashtag free Harold. Thank you, AC. I appreciate that. Oh no, did I just crashed my browser? That's fun. Hold on. Totally crashed my browser. Okay, I was gonna say it crashed the playback on the stream, but it did not. It was just because that was frozen on there. Okay, Monster Cat, come back to me. Let's do this. Actually, let me get another. How complete is this DLC tier list? This one has a lot. This one. What's the last major DLC that came out? What should I be looking for on these lists? Somebody help me out. Like, what's the like game-changing DLCs that came out? What was after Sunset Harbor? I'd really have to dig around where Harold's house was. I kind of know where it is, over by the high school, but it's been so long since I made that video. I had fun with that one though. Writing that one was good. The voiceover was just AI Attenborough. It was just cheating. It was a lot better than any impression I could do though. Okay, how can I do this? How can I do this? Yeah, what's like the latest major DLC release? Somebody help me out here. Cities, Skylines DLC in chronological order. Airports, plazas, promenades, financial districts, hotels, and retreats. Are all these things in here? These things are not all in here. That one looks like it might have them all. No. Man, why are all these incomplete? Oh, sorry. Music is loud. Music is loud. I forgot I turned that up for Harold. I think we were down here somewhere. Let me see. Thank you for catching that, Amanda. I think we were down here somewhere. Tell me if this sounds like we're back in the spot. Is it better now? It looks like it's in a much better spot now. Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot. Thank you. I had turned it up to play the YouTube video. I need more systems. I need better ways to do this. I have figured out that the soundboard that's just built into OBS does a really good job at intro songs, and those can be set independently to the button press, and they're on their own separate slider, so like it works out pretty well. But I'm still messing around with this setup all the time. There's so much stuff going on. If I ever make it big, I got a Canadian producer ready in the chamber. Better at catching my stream mistakes than me. Edge of Map Fuck. Can I please find a complete tier list? I'm sorry, I'm poking around on the tier lists. Updated June 2023. This has the CCPs and everything. Okay, we're doing this one. We're doing it. I got it. I found it. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. The ads are going to be a little annoying, maybe. Let me see. Let's do this. Hold on a second. Bear with me for a minute here. The sound's going to cut out. It's just the easiest way to do it. I'm going to go over to capture. Oh my god, this is being such a pain in the butt. Hold on. Hold on. I almost got it. All right, that's going to have to be good enough. Can I move it? Okay, I got to move it over just a little bit. 2 seconds. Okay, how about that? Does that work? That kind of works. We got it. I am a professional. Just looking over at the stream at like a 45-second delay, and it's just me dragging around in silence. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you're having a good evening. Let's talk DLCs. So what are our categories here? We've got a must-buy. We've got a really decent, improved with mods. Can we change that? I'm gonna put mid above meh. So like it's mid. Like it could go either way. Versus a meh, which is like when you're almost in that not worth it territory, but like I'm not gonna yuck your yum. Like I can see why you might enjoy it, and then I like down here I'm gonna argue with it. And down here, I'm going to argue with Colossal and PDX that you shouldn't have charged people money for it. So, having said all that, stare into the camera if I like pretzels. I mean, I hate to break it to you, Jay Murray, but I do not. I don't like pretzels. I love pretzels. So, DLC-wise, I'm just going to grab the first thing in the list here, which is After Dark. And itself, it is not a must-have, technically. Bruh, sorry. Itself is not a must-have, but I also, like, you kind of can't buy the game at this point without it. It literally is the nighttime mode, like... If you have a game that doesn't have After Dark, like, you're stuck in daytime... You don't have leisure. Like, it's just weird. You like the game comes with After Dark on consoles by default. It's 2026. If you're playing the game, you should have After Dark, and you must buy it effectively at this point because you probably already own it. And if not, like, it's like $2. Go get it. I don't think there's nighttime if you don't have After Dark. Or maybe the free update that happened at that time brought nighttime to the game, but this also brought like things that you could do at night, like leisure and nightclubs, basically painting down a leisure district. I forget. Did it add taxi and bikes too? It added a couple things. But it's just like so ingrained with the console experience, at least, that I'm calling it a must buy because anybody playing it on any version of console, Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox has it anyways. So again, it's a must buy in that regard. I'm skipping over airports because I got to think about that some more. Art Deco, if you can separate this, I'm going to put this firmly in the meh. Because I would put it firmly in the mid. It's not like incredible, definitely not. But the problem with it is way too repetitive. Do I think it's outright not worth it? No, but it is meh because it's bringing this Art Deco style, but it is incredibly, incredibly repetitive, especially, I want to say, if you have it in 5-star, 5-level, level 5, whatever, small density residential. I think you get a bunch of Art Deco small residential homes. I'm pretty sure that's like what messes them up. It's definitely an Art Deco style, and I do need to go back and keep everybody at like level 4 or high-rise band to stop that last upgrade. Taxis are a must for Amanda C. So let me see here. And that was After Dark. Art Deco, again, like, I'm not going to say it's not worth it, but it's meh. What is this? Campus? Is this Campus, right? Man, I can't even read these. I'm pretty sure that's Campus. It's got to be. If it's not. Campus is... I don't know. The thing is, education solves so many problems in your city. So you should be thinking about education no matter what. Like, you should have high schools and elementary coverage and university and potentially the Collider once you are able. I believe that is a default game monument. Education is really important. Is it a must buy? I kind of want to put it up there because it's one of my favorites stylistically. It slots into one of the best ways to improve your city, which is to increase education, increase taxes. You get less pollution, longer lifespans. Like, there's so much good about education, both in the in-game mechanics. It is a great money maker. And it's a fantastic looker, and it brings sports to the city. Like, if you are still playing this game in 2026, I think Campus is absolutely a must buy. I will die firmly on that hill. Campus is great for being able to build universities. It adds more aesthetics in the right way. Yeah, absolutely. I love the aesthetics of a well-designed university. And you can slot it into a major city downtown just as you can like rolling hills, you know, in the mountains, little village town. You know, look at some of the colleges around New England. Like, there's some ones that are, you know, smack dab. There's a bunch in downtown, you know, all around Boston. And then, you know, you have ones that like make up a good portion of the city that they otherwise sit in a pretty small area. Like, you know, I think there's 2 universities in Burlington, Vermont, University of New Hampshire and Durham. Like, you look at Maine, you look at Connecticut and Hartford, New Haven. Like, there's just so many university varieties, and Campus, I think, is a really cool thing for that kind of that breakdown of what you can do. One that is jumping out to me right now is Green Cities. I don't know if Green Cities is a must buy. I wish I had the... I would go jump around the DLC a bit more. Is this gonna break if I do this, or is it just... Yeah, that totally breaks, huh? It doesn't know to like reshare the thing behind it. Does it bring it back at least? It does. Okay. So Green Cities, I don't know if Green Cities is a must buy. It's very cool. I'd absolutely say it's really decent, but I don't think it's a must buy. I mean, I don't know. Why is it a must buy for you? I'd love to hear. Like, I love level 5 high density residential Green Cities is one of my favorites, but they're so tall, but they look so good. it's a must for me. I see, like, I am very close to putting it up there, but like I don't know like what that must. Like, recycling plants are really cool. They're way cooler than garbage. That almost has me wanting to put it there. The water treatment as well. You know what? The water treatment trick that I showed earlier, right, where you can reduce 85% of the pollution, then with the Eden Project, reduce the rest of it and just keep your waterway completely clean. I've seen with that concept, people make actual working like water treatment plants where they dump their city water into a canal, filter it with those floating trash and pollution reducers, and then suck up the intake on the other end of it. Like, you can literally make water treatment in the game if you want to, and that is possible because of green cities. But the ability to reduce the pollution, there's a lot of things that are very cool with that, and I think that is still in the sweet spot if you are a console player, that you can get that as part of season 1, I believe. With season 1, mass transit, natural disasters, and green cities, if you can find a city's season 1 pass on console, that's one of the best. Those 3 are kind of no-brainers as a combo. Natural disasters not the strongest on its own, but cleaner sewer pipes is definitely putting it up there. Okay, what else do we have here? There's a lot of like, I think these, like, most of the content creator packs for me, a lot of them land on the mid or meh. Because I'm not going to say that they're just outright not worth it. Like, they're very cool ways to add things to your city, but they're like almost never a must buy. Some may fall into the real decent, but I think a good safe default is right in the mid meh. It really depends on what you want to do. If you are obsessed with content, you just want it all, I mean, go buy it all. This tier list doesn't matter, but they really have to kind of fit the mood. Bridges and Piers is okay, but honestly, like, I don't think I find myself going to it a lot. Concerts. On behalf of the console folk, I'm going to say that this one legitimately is not worth it. I want it because the other platform has it, but I've also played it on PC, and it isn't worth it. It is. There's no management other than plop the thing down and see when the next concert is. There's nothing that you're doing that changes drastically like a campus or a Parkwood. It's way simpler, and it's basically just coming with like a couple albums of music that you can play on Spotify anyways. So I don't think that one's worth it. It would be worth it if it existed on console. Exactly, but taking it in the grander scheme, it, like, for the City Skylines for community in general, I'm gonna go on a limb and say no one really needs it. We, like, if any, like, give the PC players back their money for having bought it. But maybe not. Maybe it's not that bad. It's just not worth it. It isn't worth it. Would I happily install it? Yes. Would I buy it for like $4 because I'm a content creator, can show people? Yes. If I wasn't creating content around it, knowing what it is, I 100% would not buy it for console because it's not adding enough to make it worth any kind of purchase. If you made it a free update or it was part of an existing pass of some sort, yes. But I wouldn't go out of my way to spend money on it unless it was as a potentially cautionary tale to others to possibly not buy it. Call it heartbroken, stick it there. Just add another at the bottom. I'm going to throw Industries up in the must buy. For the same reason I think that Campus is up there. It's a fun micromanagement. There are ways to exploit it. It can completely change the way your city works. And you can meet a ton of industry demand in a really compact way that isn't the same auto-zone repetitive building over and over. And in my opinion, like, it's the most fun management sim part of the game. It doesn't overdo it for me. but it's way more involved than I think anything else I've spent time in the game. And there's an incredible production chain that there is a document for, but you can also increase everything up to 150%, and then it just takes a little recalculation, which is what I've done in the city in the background there. Okay. Mass transit. Does anyone that has mass transit want to uninstall it for $10 and never use it again? Would anyone take their money back for mass transit? But the toss up is you can never use any of the content again. Tell me if anybody would do that. Is anybody taking that deal? If you could refund it but never use it, would you? Probably not. It's a must buy. It gives you extra highway lanes, gives you two-way highways, 2-lane and 4-lane highways. What else does it give us? Does it give us Metro, or is Metro base game? It definitely gives you monorail, right? It gives you monorail. Metro is base game. Keep it mass transit. Thank you very much. Exactly. Mass transit. You were about to buy mass transit. We can wait. Go get it. Go get it. We'll get back to the tier list in a minute. You should go get mass transit right now. Right now. That one absolutely deserves this spot. I'll throw it up here because I'm asking everybody, like, would you, people might consider a return on these. I don't think anybody that's used mass transit wants to give that up, especially a console player that doesn't have lane mathematic options, right? I'm going to put it literally top left. Yeah. Like if you're playing this game, mass transit is the easiest auto, like, all these other things, I'm like, well, hey, like, let's consider it from an education perspective or from a pollution perspective, or the content creator packs are going to be very much like, well, what kind of style city do you want to build? Mass transit is are you playing this game in 2026? Yes, then buy it. Definitely. One of the first DLCs for the game, yes, it was. It was Season 1. So Season 1 was mass transit, natural disasters, and green cities. And trying to think, park life would have been next, because that's right when I started creating content. And I released San Rica. That was Season 2 was green cities. Then we dropped natural disasters on it, and then I went right into the next build for park life on console with Season 4 Springdale, which ironically was not on a green cities, or not on a park life map, because I had to build the city in advance to build the giant central park for the video. Okay, mass transit introduced ferries, blimps, buses, monorail, and subway. But subway became base game, so you don't have to do it, but you do get more options. The highway pieces are amazing, and monorail is really fun, I think, to at least incorporate into a build at least once. I wouldn't want to probably build a whole city around it, but it does look really cool, and you can do some interesting things with it, with the in-street stations. Okay, what else do we have here? I'm looking for some of the easy ones that jump out at me. Like I said, I'm going to put most of the content creator packs in the mid or meh. I love Revo so much, I'm going to put mid-century in the really decent, because I think if you are considering a suburban build of any sort, you should have at least a couple scattered neighborhoods of mid-century modern, or kind of learn how cities developed over time. So like if you look at, a city that was founded in New England area, like in the early 1700s, you're going to have kind of an old route that runs parallel to the major highways in the area. So 93, 95, Mass Pike 90. Like there's going to be a lot of, arterial roads, car roads that are essentially riding parallel to those highways. They build the highways next to the major roads. And if you look at like the houses and how they're set up on some of those old roads in older towns, especially again, that had populations back in the early 1700s, as they grow, you have, you know, these wide spaced out farms that become filled in with 2 or 3 Victorian houses in between that get filled in with, 8 other small residential homes eventually. So you'll get scattered zoning like that, but also as neighborhoods build up and you start to build grids off of your main roads, you may have an expansion that happened in the 1950s, another one that happened in the 60s or 70s, another one that happened in the early 2000s, and completely different homes in relatively close areas. So some of these content creator packs do a really good job at giving you some of those options. And I think for suburban builds, Mid-Century Modern is a really decent one for that, and something that you should strongly consider if you're into that sort of a thing. But it could very easily be a mid for some people, but I'm going to put that one as one of the few CCPs that I definitely think are really decent. I don't know if any of them are, again, must-buys. Okay, let's grab something else. Let's get some of these content packs out of the way, I guess. Brooklyn, I might put Brooklyn up there too in the really decent. I think that's another one that you could do some really interesting things staggering that into builds. Does this one have emerging downtowns? Because that one is one of the best as well. I don't think it does. Man, I need better glasses to read this screen. Mass transit has the best highway. Multi-stations too. Yeah, so there's a lot of things I wasn't even considering there. Okay. Map pack 2. Do we have more map packs in here? Because those actually I got commentary on. But it looks like this wasn't updated after 3 and 4. Or is that just 1 and 2? Okay, let's do what we see in here. Park Life is, I think Park Life is another absolute banger. I don't know. I could see, again, people that may not like it, but it's just the right amount of light management. You can do a central park, you can do a nature reserve, amusement park, or a zoo. And they're all pretty fun in their own right. Depending on your build, like you may put all of them into a single city. They're also excellent ways to make money, even with really small, insignificant parks, placed really carefully next to transit options. All the map packs are must-buys for consoles. I'm going to argue incredibly strongly against Map Pack 4. I think, I don't mean any offense to the creator. I think it is one of the laziest things that they shipped across the entire product. The maps are incredibly flat. They are not well designed, even for 25 tiles. There's not a lot of good variety there. And the intersections are comically terrible. Like literally meme worthy. I started a meme city and used the magic roundabout that they have like across an entire tile just for the laughs. So I strongly recommend against Map Pack 4, but I think you can make a case for the others, especially Map Pack 3 for the intersections. Park Life Essential Park Light, great for making coin, exactly. Merging downtown and Brooklyn flow with one another. Natural disasters is great for jumping power and vanilla. That's true. It does a couple things really cool. You can use cemeteries and dumps and empty them with a building collapse. You can also use the earthquake sensor to wirelessly pass power across. And they're actually a pretty cool looking asset that you would find, these little electrical boxes along highways, because you have, miles and miles of lights running along, and you're going to have, conversion boxes and outlets that power signs nearby and that handle some of that grid connection. So, which map pack had all the resources poorly painted across the maps? That's the thing. Like, there was a lot of that. Like, the map packs are not good maps necessarily for console players. They might have other features. They might have, some of them come with intersections, and that's really cool. but the maps are almost always guaranteed to be a slap in the face to a 25 tile player, and almost 100% guaranteed to be a slap in the face to a 9 tile player, which you can still buy all of these map packs on. You can still buy them on 9 tile. They shouldn't be selling things that don't work on 9 tile to people that play 9 tile, in my opinion. I feel strongly about it, and a lot of the map packs were like literally offensive in that regard. Or if you're not playing with unlimited resources, where it had just painted oil and ore all over what looks like a farming map, but literally you couldn't use 95% of the map for farming because they painted it to look the part, and then you can actually build farming on it because it would collapse without the cheats on. What is 9 tile? Yeah. I know, right? But hey, they are still making updates and still selling DLC to people on 9 tile. Keep that in mind. City's base game is getting race day. You could be on an Xbox, not a Series S, but an Xbox S, like the first time, they upgraded from the base Xbox in 2013. They're still selling that game content. So do keep that in mind, though. It's just wild to think about, right? Like, most console players have moved on to remastered, but there's still plenty of people that haven't, for one reason or another, because they had a physical copy, because they got the free copy and didn't want to pay to upgrade. It's been enough game for them, but it's starting to get stretched over there. And remastered is definitely a good upgrade if you have, a Series S or X or a PlayStation 5 capable. Okay, I gotta bust some of these out because I'm just going too slow here. What the hell? Train stations? Like, I don't know. Train stations I'll put in the mid. If you like trains, absolutely go for it. Then again, like, I enjoy trains. I don't enjoy fitting train networks into 25 tile. Like, it's just not something I invest a lot of time in. While I'm looking at it, and I just want to get it out of the way, like, I'm not going to say it's not worth it, but it's totally not interesting to me. The airports, it's a lot of space for something that I can just plunk down and not think about. With the Metropolitan Airport, which was Sunset Harbor, which I don't want to call really decent, so I'll call it mid. But I feel like the Metropolitan Airport came out of that one, which pushes it up. It's not a must-buy, though, by any means. But it's part of that mid rather than meh, in my opinion. A base city starts on a tile, but cities on Xbox and PlayStation, just the base version, not the remastered version, is only capable of 3x3, a 9-tile city. 25 tiles is remastered. We got so many transit hubs and stations, not enough docks and ports. Joey, what's up? Welcome. We're talking through the DLCs. In case people are just getting into the game and kind of wondering where things are at. Not that this is the most effective way for me to do it, because I've been rambling. Are these the same icon twice over? It sure looks like Industrial Evolution twice, which is a mid. I'm going to put that up there just because it should be next to it because it's a repeat. Industrial Evolution's mid. It's not... It borderlines on the really decent, but I think it depends on your situation. Like, it's not something that you must have. But if you're into the decorative aspect and you're on console and don't have assets, it might... Here, you know what? We have 2 of them. I'm going to put it firmly on the line between the 2, between really decent and mid. It's up there, but very situational, and I think would fall in mid tier for a lot of people, unless you like the industrial zoned. But get industries before you worry about that. Get some actual gameplay out of it. So the Africa one was really, I think, meh. I'm not gonna say it's not worth it. Again, it's a situational thing, but I definitely think it's gonna fall flat because the buildings are so small. There is not a lot of them, and you can barely build like a small little neighborhood out of it. There's virtually nothing to it. Like, it wasn't implemented in a way where you can create neighborhoods or a stylized city, you could make kind of like a park, and that's about it. It's not a great implementation. So let's see. Sports venues. I don't know. I'll throw it in the mid. I'd consider it potentially decent. I always use them now that I have it. It's definitely not a must buy, but I think especially for anyone that is not building, I don't know. I think a lot of city, and I'm not saying this is all of you. I know it's not all of you. I play a lot of shooters, but like I've played less and less sports games over the years, and I've become more and more detached from sports. Like I still keep up with Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, but I watch highlights. I watch it like first thing the next morning, so that I hopefully don't spoil what happened. I don't check the news. That's one of the first things I watch every day is sports highlights, especially Red Sox. So I'll watch like the 7-minute version of the game. You know, you don't know if they won or lost when you click on the highlights, and YouTube knows what I want to watch in the morning. It throws it to the top of my feeds. So like if you're building American, there's a couple good baseball stadiums. There's some good soccer fields and rugby, if I remember. Like, there's some good options here, but it's not, again, like, I'm not going to throw it up in the really decent, that strong. Like, it's decent. Don't get me wrong. It's not that it's not decent, but it definitely is like, it becomes more situational. I think Railroads of Japan, same sort of thing. It's not a meh, but like, it's for the right situational kind of scenario, and I don't want to give people the false impression that you're getting something that's drastically going to change your game. Modern Japan, probably same way. I would definitely hesitate to put this one in mid. There's a couple really cool buildings in there that you can leverage. They are going to have Japanese writing on them, but other than that, like they'll fit into a good modern setup. I like sports venues, but not enough. Hockey and boxing arenas, no Madison Square Gardens. Yeah, I don't know what it is about, like, they can't do like actual, especially like sponsored arenas. So there are some limitations there, but obviously some things are stylized. Like there's one that looks very much like Dodger Stadium. One of the Japan packs had a lot of great small assets, like a small restaurant. Modern Japan was pretty good. The other one was Heart of Korea, but I would put that more towards the mass side only because of the lighting in this entire DLC. I don't know. I think it really looked off last time I did any of it compared to the rest of the city's lights. So let's see. Match day is definitely a meh. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe just not even worth it. Like, I don't think this is something that you go out of your way to pick up if you don't have it. And especially if you're gonna get, like some of the better sports stadiums, or even some of the simple sports that are introduced with the 5 things, football, basketball, aqua, track and field, baseball, if you do campus. So like you already have a bunch of options to drop in your city. None of them have backstops, by the way, because baseball safety does not exist in this universe. What is match day? I don't remember. It's like the old, like, square soccer arena that you can see in through the ceiling. The racetrack one? Well, is the racetrack coming out? The race day is coming out, Tuesday? It's not out yet, right? It's just the creators that had early access. I think it comes out Tuesday. If I saw my dates right. I don't know. So I've seen people ask for the military bases. I'm glad they don't have it personally. I mean, part of why I escaped the city is to create, hopefully, 1, something better, and 2, not to have to worry about that kind of stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can flip on the news right now and be pretty disappointed and not want to be reminded of it in try to build a utopia that I also have to defend from attack. I do, though, having said that, miss the alien invasions from SimCity. Hotels and retreats. It's here. I don't know. Meh. I don't want to say not worth it. What is close? Is there anything that I'm forgetting in the hotels updates that I care? Right? Like, I don't think so. Is that bourbon I'm swinging on? Definitely not. This is water. Not a giant thermos full of bourbon. There were days in my 20s when I might have been able to do that, but yeah, I get it for the realism. I mean, on console for sure. I mean, on PC for sure. There's plenty of ways to do that. Is Snowfall any good? Let's put it somewhere. I think that one's definitely situational. So the trams are so good. I want to put it as a must buy. If you think trams are a cool way to move around your city, Snowfall, just for that, is worth the buy, because you can use trams in any city. Snowfall is a perpetual winter, though. So, like, unless you want to build a snowy city, up in North Finland that never, sees anything but snow, it's of limited use itself. Like, there's a Christmas market and some cool things, snow plows and heating that you have to deal with. So there's some new mechanics, and it's cool. But by far, like, I almost, do we must buy Snowfall because of the trams? Trams are awesome. Trams are one of my favorite ways to move people around the city, both from a capacity perspective and from an appearance perspective, and they pair really well with one of my favorite DLCs, which is Plazas and Promenades, which I don't see up here. There it is. And I'm going to throw that in the must-buy, too. It's one of my favorite ways to create pedestrian-only areas and reduce traffic in certain parts of the city. I might argue that it's really decent, and definitely, like, to, like, try and minimize what we throw up top. I love Plazas and Promenades, but I think trams are so awesome that everybody should consider that, and I would recommend buying for just the tram. So that's what you got for Snowfall. It also has a hockey arena, so yes. The gondolas, those are pretty cool. I've never really leveraged them. But yeah, you can get people up incredibly steep areas. Thoughts on streaming GTA RP in the future? I've never considered it. I definitely have a machine that could handle it better now. I upgraded to a 5080 and a 9800X 3D. This is too much talking. I gotta delete this from the playlist. I'll figure out what it was later. It was written underneath the screen there. I should have jotted it down. Never used the gondolas. Yeah, they don't move a lot of people, and it's only if you have an incredibly steep area. I think I put one for looks on the Snowfall map, trying to make it look like a chairlift way off in the distance. But there's only so much you can do on console, especially at the time, and with my patience level. What I see now, I can't even tell what some of these are. This is European Suburbia, which is, I think it's on the meh side, personally. It's not the most incredible thing. New sub, by the way, thank you, appreciate it. There will be a lot of different games this year, I will tell you that. I gotta do one more playthrough of Dispatch to get all the achievements, but there's a lot of different stuff's coming. Okay, is this the first map pack? The first map pack was decent, for sure. And then map pack, I believe this is map pack 2, which again, I would throw in the really decent. I would almost put map pack 3 for a console player, especially, in the must buy, because it has some of the best. It has the best intersections, without a doubt. Map Pack 4 is, again, offensive, both from a map design perspective and from an intersection perspective. They are comically bad, like things that I made 10 years ago in my first city on console when I was using 6-lane roads for everything, and they're charging money for it. It's remarkable. The CC packs are not needed for the PC, definitely. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is definitely from a console player perspective, because I think you knock all these asset only ones down a peg automatically, because like you can just download, like if you want Brooklyn style buildings, there's a creator called I think it's Darf. Oh my god, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buildings that are just like these like the right time frame for all of this, for industrial, for Brooklyn's and Queens expansion, for Boston expansion. Like there's a ton of buildings you just download for free, and they're amazing. So the content creator packs definitely rank lower on PC. Speaking of ranking lower, financial districts. I find the mechanic was not well implemented. There's so much better ways to make money at the top of our list, like Park Life and Industries and Campus, or all of them when you combine them together. Throw your trams in as your public transport that gets people through the expensive park. Like there's so many better ways to do everything that this DLC does. Like the Skyscrapers DLC is better for tall buildings. Any of the DLCs up at the top are better for making money. Like, and it's so much worse on console too. So like financial districts, I don't know if there's a refund your money one. Maybe I don't know. Shopping malls, this is another one like that. I'm gonna throw it really decent, but again, it becomes mid because you can go get a bunch of King Leno stuff if you aren't on console. But if you are on console, these are our mods. We have to pay for them. You say refund financial, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with moving that one down there because I don't know what else on this list I'm gonna put down there. Natural disasters is really nice. It borderlines on a must-buy for me. I think on console, maybe, because there's a couple really cool things you can do. But even then, like, if you skip natural disasters, like, this is not an insignificant amount of money, even on sale. So, like, if you skip natural disasters to get one of these ones up here that you don't have, After Dark, again, just kind of being... Like, if you're paying for After Dark in 2026, you actually probably should ask for your money back. But it's a good thing on its own, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine, but you probably already own it. But if there's any of these that you don't have, go get them definitely before natural disasters. Vehicles, I just don't care about it. One of these has the different train sizes, which is kind of cool, but it's not worth it. Skyscrapers is another cool, really decent one. But again, it becomes a mid or a meh even, because if you're on PC, you can just go download these things. But I think if you're building any kind of a large city, Skyscrapers is really decent. Leave After Dark in S tier. Natural disasters, you say? Sounds like it's time for a tsunami. Oh my god. We do have the city going in the background with $1 billion in the bank. I don't even think we save it. We just rebuild it. Okay, what do we got? Is this downtown or University City? Meh. Not impressed with that one. Seaside Resorts, also not impressed with that one. I'm going to throw it in the meh. If you like it, you like it, but I'm not going to probably use it. Pearls of the East, meh. Modern City Center, really decent. Not a must-buy by any means. One of my favorites, though, for sure. Who the heck did that? Ami Pomatsai Funk, I think. Is it Chaos Time? It can be Chaos Time. My suggestion for noobs is to buy the earlier DLC. It's more mechanics bound and later becomes mainly cosmetic. Yeah. So definitely the first season pass, especially if you're on console, Mass Transit, Green Cities, Natural Disasters, really good. Season Pass 2 was Industries, Park Life. Industries, Park Life, and Campus, right? That was season 2 was a banger as well. So see those first 2 season bundles for sure. Finish the stream with a disaster. Oh my god, it's 12:13. I didn't realize how late it was. Oh my goodness. What do we have? What is this? What the hell is this? Is it high tech? High tech is like, I don't know. It's a mid. It might give you one of the some of the policies, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, did this scroll down too? Like it's at the bottom of the page. Did I have it in the wrong spot? What's left? What's left? Does it say deluxe edition? The deluxe edition upgrades like the monuments, right? Like they should just give people that. Like you don't need the deluxe edition. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. Maybe it's not a refund because you do get cool monuments. What is this snowy one? Does anybody know what this one is? Can I zoom in on that? Is that like the Christmas one? Wasn't that free? If you pay for that, refund your money. That thing that's dog dookie. Okay. 2 seconds of silence. Sorry, I don't have a button mapped. Okay. The Christmas one, yeah, like it's not snow. No, snow falls up in the must buys. So you can go back and screen cap that if you want. I don't know if that helped at all. That was probably just a stupid diversion. Edge of map fog. Hey Todd, what do we
view distant weather systems across the map?
Yeah, new distant weather systems across the map. Okay, let's here I'm like using my controller. It's been asleep for a long time because I've been rambling about DLC. Okay, where are we at? Oh my goodness, was this a thing before we left? This was a new fire that I didn't see, right?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It's a decent one. This area loves to burn over here. Over by the Lone Pine Mall. I wonder if it's from all the DeLoreans hitting 88 miles an hour and bursting into flames. They do like to use that parking lot for practice. All right. Where's the tornado? Where's the tsunami? Do tsunamis hit the city? And they do, right? But they only get the Coline Francesi, I'm pretty sure, right? Let's see. They also take forever. But we'll try it. Like, where's nice and central? Maybe we could wash away the fire. Let's see if we can put out the fire with a tsunami. It's going to take a while to roll in. They'll probably put it out before. Fire, chaotic mouse driving, rants about DLC. Last time tsunami wasn't worth it. Yeah, so let's do a tornado. What are we at? Is that a 10? That's a 10. Here, we'll blow the fire out. That should do the trick. Put out the flames, even though the fires are already out, but it's fun to watch the cars fly around. Did you make a backup? I think that I did. Yeah, I did. If we didn't, like what? We don't have enough money in the bank to fix it? We'd be fine. We might dip under $1 billion to fix it, but we'd get back. We'd get back to it. This diamond interchange, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is servicing a lot, right? So it's one of the 3 major highway exits for this entire neighborhood called the Coal Line Francese. And like, we are offloading like some of the traffic to the other side of the intersection. You can see like we're able to head the highway and bypass a little of this traffic here, but like, does it back up? Yeah. Does it back up onto the highway? Barely. Is that going to take out all of Sherwood Forestry? I don't like where that camera zoomed. Oh no. Oh no. That is not good. Maybe it'll put this fire out, hopefully. Oh my God. Look at the devastation to the forestry area. Okay, 3 times speed. Look at the trees, the cars going, the trucks. Oh my God. Just throwing tractor trailers. It's raining tractor trailers. That is not good. Why is there lightning over there? Are we getting a random thunderstorm at the same time? Does that happen in the tornado? Like the tornado's like, I'm coming with a thunderstorm? Was that really necessary? Yeah. I did not call on a lightning storm. It's just like you get this too. It comes with it. Buy one, get one. The good news is there's a tsunami coming to clean all this up. The cars! Oh my God, the cars! What happens to these people? Like, they're just here in the rubble, just chilling? Oh, okay, they're panicked? They're panicked? That makes sense. Whoa, oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, we're pausing it. We gotta go catch up with it. We gotta go catch up with it. Cause like the destruction raining behind it is kind of remarkable. Oh my God. Like, does this look like what's up in the air right now? Hold on, let's get on the ground and so we can witness this. Ready?
A tornado has touched down in the area. Seek shelter.
See, my YouTube studio dropped. It doesn't say any drop frames. My web page crashed, I guess. The destruction's nasty. Whew. Yeah, to be that close to it. Imagine like if you were that close and saw the destruction like that was behind it. That would be just absolutely terrifying. Like this car is just like sunk into the dirt. Oh no. No, 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 no. Not our beautiful sports arenas. Not our beautiful sports arenas. Did it seriously quit right before it got to the stadium? It was like, okay, I will answer your prayer about the sports arena. Your stadiums will not be affected. Just oh my God, a lot of people in the Coal Line Francese. That one hit nothing but the Coal Line Francese. Yikes. Woo, we got a little power problem. Wee bit of power problem. It should be okay. We can fix this quick. What do we need to do here? Nothing a little extension cord won't fix. So we'll do that. Are those elevated? I don't think those need to be elevated. And then maybe from here to here. Beautiful. Look at that. It's all fixed, right? Should be fixed. Yeah, great. Good as new. Like nothing ever happened. The church made it. That's pretty cool. There's a lightning strike in the background. It would have been awesome if it like hit the church as I said that. Ice Cube Factory and Harold are safe. I think so. Yeah. Ice Cube Factory still going strong right there. Red bricks. And then Harold's house is... Oh. About that. I'm pretty sure Harold lived over here. Sorry, Harold. Harold's never home. It's a good point. He's at the Ice Cube Factory. He's working, so he's safe. He just doesn't have a home to go home to anymore. Why the thunderstorm with it? That's not fair. We don't need extra fires, please. We're doing fine. Why is this like not next to a road? Like, why is this not getting serviced? There's literally like, look at this. They have to drive by. How is this thing not getting garbage service? Look at these. Wait, hold on a second. Dude, stop at the frickin', you're full? You're all full? You're full by the... Why didn't you stop at the... Are you pulling into one of these? Could one of you leaving, like, on the way there? No? Like... Okay, this one. Okay, this guy just left. He's empty. What's he doing? Like, go pick up the garbage at the Eden Project. You're literally driving right by it. If there was a way to tornado that one truck, I would. Okay. All right. I get it. It's fine. The river looks a little bit taller right there. What's going on over here? Is this not the tsunami swell? Is that literally just a wave? Or did I not do a 10 on the tsunami and just on the tornado, maybe? The choppers will fix the forest fire. Yeah, it's totally fine. It should be totally fine. All right, well, it has been a pleasure. It's getting late. It's getting very late here on the East Coast. I don't know where you're at, but it might be time for bed. At the very least, it is time for a different stream if you're still watching. Hold on a second.
An even view, distant weather systems across the map.
Okay. It has been a fun stream. Lots of different shenanigans. Some new people out there. I will definitely be doing some more streams, especially of cities. So if you want to come back, ask questions, if you're getting into the game, checking it out for free to play weekend, and decide to stick with it. I do a lot of unmodded and console-based content, so check that out here. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot if you enjoyed the stream. And I will see you on the next one. Hopefully, again, some of you can make it back out. There'll be more cities content next week. We'll check out the DLC, I think, on Tuesday when it comes out, the 10th. And you can decide for yourself if you want to spend more money on the game. I will try and give you a good breakdown of what is in the new DLCs. And I pull no punches. We'll tell you what it's good for, what it's not. I'm very concerned about race days, so at least take that grain of salt with you as you go. But I hope to see you in the next one. My name is Smooth Mouse, and some of you I know, some of you are new, and some of you have been quiet, and that's totally fine too. Come back for more cities next week. There's tons of tutorials on the channel if you want an unmodded approach to the game over the years. If you go way back, you can find some really ugly cities and make yourself feel better about the stuff you're building. So enjoy the game, have fun, ask questions, and hopefully we'll see you on the next stream. Until then, though, Move the Mouse signing off. Catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.